Well, it says he won.
Oh, he already won? Well,
He
that's
won with black against Balus. It says he won.
too late to check him out then,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know.
It's too bad.
I mean, I wouldn't resign here if I was.
Wait, he won his
White.
first 2 games?
Well, he's too good.
But he's a board 4. He's 2100 and he played 2 GMs.
Yeah, but you can't pronounce his last name, so he's got to be good.
He can always say nobody's ever heard of me because nobody's ever said his name right.
That's correct. Yeah, wow.
Woohoo! Ad time. Hope everybody enjoyed their ad. Welcome back to the chess part of this broadcast. I'm International Master David Proust, joined by Grandmaster Ben Feingold. Hi, Ben.
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, David. How you doing?
Pretty good. Excited. For me, chess is a break in a life without chess these days.
Wow.
So this is a highlight for me.
I live at opposite land, I guess. Okay.
You get to do chess every day.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my break
Right.
from chess?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow there will be some kind of baking league and you can watch that for 3 hours.
Yeah.
That would be
Like
nice.
a grandmaster. Yeah.
Eat like a grandmaster. Yeah. So anyway, so we got one professional chess commentator and one amateur here today for you all. And hopefully some professional and some amateur players playing the matches.
Yeah, these will be some great matches. I mean, all the matches were great. I've watched a little bit of all of them, but I was looking forward to this because this seemed like there were grandmasters galore and that every match could go every way. So I thought it would be pretty exciting, David. What did you think?
I am just excited. I haven't guessed the results of all the matches. I just did enough to like click on the matches and be like, that's a lot of good players. And then I didn't really say who was going to win. Last year I looked game by game in advance, but last year I didn't have a full-time job.
Exactly. It looks like we have some games started already.
Yeah. And the first one I've clicked on is Elshan Moradiabadi against Samuel Sebian.
Yeah, they just, what is this, move 3?
Yeah,
That's pretty
move
early.
3. Move 3. Very careful start from Moradiabadi, I would say.
And Sevian's playing for San Diego, I think, but he's a local player, it says so. He must
That's
be
right.
moving a lot because he lived in San Francisco, then
Yeah.
he lived in Boston, now he lives in San Diego.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
I don't know. To be a local player, you don't necessarily have to live there all the time. I'm not sure exactly what the standards are, but it's partly subjective. Like you can send an application to the commish and say, I think I should count as a San Diegan. So in this case, maybe all Sevian has to do is send in videos of himself surfing and try and prove that he's a surfer.
Exactly. See, the things at the bottom of the screen, they're from the last match, I think.
Which
From the
thing's on
last
the
time
bottom of
we-
the screen?
You know, to tell you like to follow all the matches, to click on the team you want to follow.
Yeah, on Chess TV,
Yeah.
the buttons are still Eastern Division, East Coast, Krakens and Blizzards and such.
This doesn't look super exciting yet, so I think Moradiabadi's happy. I think he wants solid because Sammy's a very tricky tactical player.
Yeah. Nevertheless, he did bring his bishop outside of his pawn chain, and so achieved kind of a normal position, actually.
Yeah, everybody's playing the London system now, but I've played Bishop G5 also. Got to change it up a little bit.
Good old Torre.
Exactly. If only I knew which Torre it was. Probably the Mexican one. Yeah.
Could be.
Good old Carlos Torre. Yeah.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Well, you know Eugenio Torre from the Philippines.
I do.
Yeah, but Carlos Torre, that's a long time ago. In
Yeah.
a different country also. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard of him. I just don't know who the opening is named after, actually. But Eugenio's probably too new for the opening to be named after him.
Exactly. No, it's named after Carlos. That I do know. I know something.
Okay.
That's about it. Yeah.
Great. What do you know about Queen B1? I was kind of casually expecting queen c2 since I was focused more on my talk than on the moves.
Oh, I was casually expecting queen e2, so it shows you what I know.
All right.
Well, it stops knight e4. I always tell my students to put your queen on the c file when the c file is going to get opened.
Mm-hmm.
So queen b1's a cooler looking move.
Yeah. It has the idea of playing b4 next, backing that up at the same time as attacking h7, threatening pawn takes c5 because of the lineup of the queen and the bishop. So I don't know. If black wants to maintain the tension, they could play rook to b8.
Yeah, b4 wouldn't have been the first move that I thought of, although if my bishop was on c1, then I would be thinking about it. But I was looking towards the center and the king side, so he tricked me.
Okay.
I guess queen b1 makes more sense now. Also, if they play c4, which they don't play, you could play bishop c2 and still try to get an e4, which you can't do if your queen's on c2. So slightly different.
Right. Yeah, if he wanted to play in the center instead of b4, he might have put his queen on c2 or e2, centralized the rooks, and then looked for e4.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I don't remember Sam playing in the Pro Chess League. Did he play the last few years?
I don't think he played last year.
Yeah, I don't remember him playing.
No,
And
but
I know one thing, even for the top players, if they don't have a lot of experience at 15 minute, a lot of times they play too slowly in the opening and they get into bad time trouble. So right now, I think Alshon has a lot of experience, and I'm worried if Sam gets into bad time trouble, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, he's already spent a few minutes here.
Yeah, that's a big difference in the Pro Chess League. One thing I tried to do when I was playing is just play fast. I'm not saying I did do it, but I tried to do it. And then if you don't play fast, you have terrible issues later in the game. The position looks good, but with the time situation on the clock, we see blunder after blunder after blunder. It's just awful.
Okay, well, I will say this for Sam. He played in the U.S. Chess League for several years, but that was played at a different time control, so it doesn't deal with the 15-minute
That's
issue.
right. Yeah. It used to be a lot slower and you played one game. Now it's a lot of games at 15-minute. It's a lot different. Okay, what else do we have for this match? Let's see here. So usually the pairings are like 1 plays 4. And then later on in the match, I think the top players play each other, making it more exciting.
Yeah, that is usually the scheme, but this is GM versus GM in the first round, so it makes you wonder. Alshon is actually board 3 for the Destiny. So this is a Grandmaster on board 3, and Sevion is playing board 2 for the Surfers.
Yeah, 2 plays 3 in the first round. I remember that from last year.
Yeah.
Well, Sevion's a good board 2, and Alshon's a good board 3, so these pairings this match are, I mean, for this whole round, we're doing Pacific for the rest of the league. That's Pacific Division looks like it has a lot of GMs. It'll be really tough on every board. I was especially surprised at how strong the Chinese team was, but I guess you just can't play everybody. So they're stacked, but you can't play your top 4 boards. So we'll see who's playing on the bottom board for that team.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll look at all the pairings at some point. But in these first rounds, often the board 1 beats the board 4. Sometimes you've got rating gaps of 600 points or more. But 2 versus 3 and 3 versus 2 are usually going to be the 2 most important matchups in the first round of one of these.
Yeah, I was board 3 for St. Louis, so first round was always tough for me. But I think I found every round was tough. But yeah, I mean, all these players are good. And some of the teams decide to be super stacked and put 3 really strong GMs on the top 3 boards, and then somebody not as good on board 4. And some like to be more solid. And I'm not sure one has won over the other. Everybody's tough. But last year for St. Louis, when I was playing for the Archbishops, we had some good players on board 4. Their rating was low, but that didn't stop them from getting points. And I think that's why we became the champions, because we were pretty stacked on the top 3 boards. Board 4, we were almost giving away, but
then you wouldn't.
Our board 4 scored 2 points and 2.5 points like all the time. So
yeah, if your board 4 scores 2 points or more, it's pretty hard to lose the match.
That's right. Yeah.
Because every player's playing out of 4 points, right? So
It's nice to have Wesley So on board 1 also. That didn't hurt either.
the average score for a board 4 should be about half a point in their match
Right.
against the other board 4, in theory.
Right. That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's wondering if there's a staggered start to the matches on purpose, and I think it's just that Greg doesn't know how to start the matches, right? So it takes him a while to find the other team.
That's funny.
No,
I have no
it's
comments.
No,
I'm
it's
sure.
it's all on purpose, of course. It's so that you can focus on one match and then another match, and so they're not all finishing at the exact same moment when they're all in time scrambles, you know.
Our pro chess overlord Greg Shahadi knows all and has everything figured out. It's all on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to have every match staggered by 10 minutes by accident would be pretty surprising, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's done on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this game, Sevian has maneuvered his knight to c4, which,
Very explosive.
yeah, is kind of explosive, right? It sacks a pawn. It opens up his bishop, opens up the white king. Morad Yabadi didn't think twice about taking that pawn either. He was just like, yep, expected you to give me that. So where's the compensation? I mean, if the white rooks come to the g file, white will have the pawn and the compensation.
Yeah, well, white just played king h1. I'm wondering... No, he can't sack on c4 and play queen d5 because of queen e2. So my first thought is this just good for white. White's up a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this looks like long-term compensation. I don't see anything immediate. So, yeah. Looks pretty good for white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see at all what black would be doing next.
Mm-mm. Also, there's that huge time advantage, which if you haven't played a lot of 50-minute chess, it's hard to acclimate because you're used to playing either blitz, where you're moving quickly every move, or slow chess, where you're moving slow every move. 15 is in the middle, and just playing really fast, I think, is in general a good idea. Getting these kind of huge time advantages is important, especially when you're playing several games a day. They're playing 4 games in like a 3-hour period.
Yeah.
So you can't have 1 minute in all 4 games. You get really flustered, and I mean, everybody's playing really good too. It's not like a Swiss tournament where the first round's pretty easy. These are tough games.
Yeah. So it's just the number of emotional ups and downs that you can process and keep going.
Yeah, and Sam played queen h4, which doesn't do anything. So
Yeah, I think his thought is to prevent the reorganization with bishop e2. But, I mean, white could just as easily go bishop f1 to g2 here.
I'll always play bishop f1. Yeah. No,
And
I like white.
and even bishop d3 is fine too. I mean,
I like white.
yeah.
So a good start there for the team from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sevian's putting in so much effort, and he's used all his time to somehow just suicide himself.
Oh,
so
bishop f1. The crowd knows what I want. Always
Yeah.
play bishop f1. Yeah. Let's see. I don't see any. I'm looking at some of the comments. I
Yeah.
don't see any attack at all. Yeah, we agree. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, here comes the knight to somewhere random. What do you say, rook c6, Ben? How should people play when they have an extra pawn? Once they've got their bishop on f1, what's the second step?
How come black hasn't resigned? White's played bishop f1.
Yeah.
I'm confused what Sam was thinking about, because I'm guessing if Sam saw this position, he wouldn't like this. So
Yeah,
I don't
trying to
know.
guess what position he was looking at back here when he played knight to c4.
yeah, very strange.
Oh.
And Elshon's playing pretty quickly. He's still keeping the pace. He played bishop g2. That's a pretty safe white king.
Cool.
I think white should play king g1 pretty soon because it defends his f pawn. He gets off the line with the queen. And then
Okay.
he can trade on the c file or just play rook c6.
So just bishop f1, g2, king g1, and then start playing rook c6.
Yeah, this just looks terrible for black.
Yeah, certainly cause for concern.
Let's have a look at Dreyev's game with Breckenridge
Alrighty.
because it's very strange. It's like almost symmetrical, but a very weird symmetrical, where it's not quite symmetrical. It seems like all the non-symmetrical things are in black's favor,
Yeah.
Like they both castle queenside, which is a little weird.
Right.
But white's king is terrible, and the double pawns on the king side actually help black because he has the open H file. So the sets of double pawns actually both help black. And Dreyev just threatened bishop e3 check, which wins the game immediately.
That he did.
Yeah, this looks just terrible.
Rook h e1. He could play rook takes h2, which would threaten bishop a3 mate.
Yep.
Rook d to e1 could get played.
I think that's forced. This looks just losing. This looks terrible.
Then he can just play rook h e8, and it seems like white won't be able to control the e3 square. The king's going to have to come to d2 to try and defend himself at some point.
Yeah, he played king d2 right away.
Yeah.
So can I play rook takes d3 check here? I'm sure I can play if this is a good move.
Sure.
If you take with the queen, I play rook d8. If you take with the pawn, I was thinking queen b2 might win. I don't see how it wins. It just should win.
Queen d2, king to e1, rook e8, king f1.
Yeah, he's escaping.
And
although maybe after rook e3, I'm winning. Huh. Boy, that's a tough position for white. Because even if I don't mate just start taking pawns, my bishop on c5 is a monster.
Yeah.
Okay, he played queen a5. Also good.
So he seems to be threatening a very simple bishop d4.
Yeah, I mean, this is just losing. His king on d2 is not safe, and black's king is perfectly safe. Black's rooks are better. Black's bishop is better. Black's pawn structure is better. Yeah, just totally winning. And as you mentioned before the show, or during the show, this is a number 4 versus number 1 matchup. So sometimes they get pounded.
Yeah. All right, so here he's preparing to play rook to b3 if needed to cover the c3 square. And he's also maybe threatening b7 at some point. So.
Right. So Alexei played bishop b6 very quickly also. Now his king's perfectly safe. He stops all the tricks.
Yeah. By the way, I think their rook d3 check might have been winning because now there's queen a2 check. And the rook is hanging on b1, right? I think
after rook a2, rook d3, he would have played king d3. But
okay.
I think when he plays bishop b6 so quickly, he's just like, this is completely winning. Just any move wins.
Just do anything, huh?
Boy, g4 is pretty desperate. Wow.
That is pretty desperate.
That's, yeah. Well, queen takes a2 is good.
That is a solid move.
Yeah. Could also move his king off of the file of the rook, like king a8, king c. I don't think he'll do that, though. I think he'll just take out a2. And then maybe rook takes d3 is even stronger. Yeah, he's going to wrap this up. This isn't going to be tough. Wow, he played rook takes d3 now.
That's exciting.
You have to play king takes, because pawn takes, queen takes a2 is over. And queen takes rook d8 is over.
Yep.
So
you send the king wandering, then there's queen a6 check is probably a good move to throw in.
Yeah, queen a6, and if king d2, then rook d8 check.
Yeah.
Just looks terrible for white. But he sees something very specific after king takes. He's got something ready to go. Not just, I have a good attack. He sees a forced win, I think.
Right. Well, there's pawn takes g4, which white wouldn't be able to recapture because of queen d5 check.
That's correct.
So he could grab that pawn, which gives him rook h3 and queen takes c3.
Yeah.
So that's one option there. For those who didn't watch last year, Alexei Dreyev played last year for the Surfers as well and had a really strong showing. Is this terrible for white or not? Yes, it's terrible for white.
Yeah, this is just losing. Yeah.
But it's a good calculation exercise for all of you guys. I mean, it's like a little tactics trainer moment for everybody. How to win from here. So not exactly what I predicted, but let's say king to e2, then queen to a6, then king to e1, and rook to e8, king d2. I don't see the checkmate just yet, but Dreyev surely does. He's playing fast. King d2. Interesting. Now rook e3. The queen would have to go to f1.
Sorry, David, I'm fixing something.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm fixing a hole where the rain came in. Okay.
It's raining here too.
Is it? It was pretty bad here yesterday, snow-wise. So he did play queen a6 and rook e8.
Yeah.
King d1. This looks just awful.
It does.
Takes a2. Yeah, he's winning everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that he's winning, but to calculate the finish is not trivial. It's kind of like a warm-up for me, who hasn't done this in a while. I would expect rook c1 is the one place the rook could go. So rook c1, rook d8, king e1, queen e6, queen e2. That's not over yet. Rook c1, rook d8, king e1. Goes somewhere else. Well, that loses instantly, I want to say, to pawn takes g4. Because the queen needs to defend the rook on h1. That'll also knock the queen off of h1. All right.
Yeah, this, as Danny Wrench would like to say, this is resign time.
Mm-hmm. Queen c1, queen c3, or queen a1, queen c3.
Oh yeah, queen b4 resigns. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty nice crush by Alexei, and didn't take too much time. He can rest before the next game.
Yeah. A lot of these opposite colored bishop endings are won when you play rook takes the bishop for some reason.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Wow, he's not resigning. Wow.
Wow. He doesn't know who he's playing.
Well, I don't think it matters who he's playing. That's
true. How about bishop a5 and then finish with queen e1?
I would resign. That's how bad it is. That's terrible.
Maybe it's a beautiful game and he wants to crown it with a checkmate. Sometimes I do that when I'm losing. I give my opponent a chance to finish it prettily. Right? Now take on g6 and queen e1. The fans would appreciate it, I think.
Yeah, he must have heard you. No cheating.
Oh, yeah. They will occasionally play the moves that Ben and I ask them to. That will happen sometimes.
You want to sack your queen, but queen b1 is already made, so that's unfortunate.
I know, but queen b1 is no fun.
He resigned. That's too bad.
I figured if you keep playing, it's because you want to play queen e1.
Okay,
right.
So that game's over.
Yeah.
Which game should we look at now?
I just clicked back to the game we've been watching before, just sort of as an update to see what's happened between Mora Diabati and Sevian. And the game is still being played. Not totally over. The extra pawn still stands proud. But I don't know, the black queen's a little bit active.
I mean, black got probably the most he could get for being a pawn down for virtually nothing. And as I said earlier, his other issue was the time situation. But positionally, he got a nice knight on d5. He got a pawn on h4. His queen is active, so couldn't ask for anything more. But white's up a pawn. White has the c file, so white has more time. Mm-hmm. So it's an uphill struggle for Sam this game.
Yeah. How do you feel about the bishop for knight trade on d5? I'm guessing it's the most obvious move, so all our viewers are wondering if they should trade bishop for knight in such a position.
I wouldn't do that in general because the bishop is a really good defender of the white king. Mm-hmm. The only reason I would do it is so I could play rook c7 and crush you. But,
right.
I mean, is black going to move his knight somewhere better? So
no.
I think I could take that knight whenever I want. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't care about defending his king side, but he cares more about rook c7,
mm-hmm.
Then he'll probably take the knight. But
right.
It doesn't seem like you should be in a hurry to do that. And he took it. So he wants to play rook c7 and queen g4. And yeah.
Must be time for rook c7, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if he plays rook c7, queen g4, and I guess king g2 defends the f pawn,
Yeah.
and black's rook isn't very active at all. I mean, he's considering taking with a pawn here, but I mean, the black rook has nowhere good to go. So white's up a pawn. White has the better rook. Once white plays king g2, king's pretty safe. It's pretty safe on h2. So
yeah, seems like trading on d5 was maybe the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, that's not. And again, if the time situation was reversed, he'd have some chances if he had 6 minutes to 2. But yeah, 2 minutes to 6, even worse.
All right. Well, let me see what else is going on then. Within this same match, we'd be looking for either Andrei Gorovets or Sidora against Michael Brown. I see one of these. All right. So I've clicked on Michael Brown, white against Andrei Gorovets. So Gorovets playing for Dallas, and Michael Brown playing his second season as a surfer. Yep. He
had bad results against him. Oh,
he did pretty well last year.
Yeah. These are two IMs who should probably be GMs. It says Gorovets is a GM.
Looks like he's a GM now.
So there you go.
So you were right. He should be.
Yeah.
White could maybe win a pawn on a6 by trading bishops on d4, and then presumably the endgame would be a draw. So he's looking for something else. Keeping this tension.
White has the two bishops and tremendous pressure, and black has this tremendous knight on d4. So, yeah, unclear if white has a big advantage, although I'd rather have white.
Yeah, well, you can't take on a6 because of b5, I think. So if I were white, I would be considering moves like rook to a5 or rook 4 to a2 or anything to sort of try and threaten to take on a6. Would that be right?
No, I agree. Yeah. Taking on a6 looks good. He might be thinking about getting lift for his king because his king's sort of trapped in the corner. He might be worried about knight c2 and trade bishops, but yeah, I think he should be. But okay, it's black's move in this position. So Gorovets had a lot more time. Okay, he broke the pin, and obviously after taking on a6, he wants to play b5.
Okay, so king h1 may have been really important. We didn't take a long look at the position before, but it looks like white's maybe lost their chance to play rook to a5 and just straight up win the pawn on a6.
Yeah, actually, having seen the king h1 was the last move, I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
I don't like the king on h1. Yeah. Okay, so he played b6, which may have been forced because of the b5 trick winning a piece. Time situation not good for Michael Brown, which is typical. He usually gets in time trouble.
That is true. You can give him 2 hours, and it's still part of his MO. So now white has less ways to try to make progress, huh? I mean, there's a pawn break with b4, but your two bishops are hanging on the c file. And then there's g3, f4, but the rooks certainly don't seem designed for that at the moment.
Yeah, rook a8 was a very nice move from Gorovets, and he got to play f5.
I think he's out of danger.
No, I definitely prefer black. Okay. And as I said in the other game we were looking at, based on the clock situation, I really prefer black.
You really prefer him, yeah.
Yeah, 3:38 to 1 minute. That's a huge advantage here. Let's have a look at the last game. Tatev is white against Sidora.
All right.
So is that 2 against 3? Sidora is 2 and Tatev's 3? Or is Tatev actually 4?
Tatev is 4 for San Diego.
That means Sidora is 1.
Yeah.
So I was very confused.
And it looks like Sidora is playing for some kind of a dark square checkmate. Queen h6. Or sorry, Tatev is playing for some kind of a checkmate. Yeah. Rook g8 maybe has it covered, but there's tricks, right? Queen h6, rook g8, knight e6, something like that.
Wow.
Goes for something else. That also seems to put on some extra pressure. Here's the counterplay.
I like e3 a lot. The bishop on b7 is open now.
Needs that piece. Now, if you ever go for queen h6, it'll be queen f1.
And she played knight e6 first. Wow.
Okay. So the plan is pawn takes knight f7, threatening queen f6 mate, and on king g7, h6 check. That's why the pawn's on h5.
But I have queen f5 after f7.
That is really unfortunate
Yeah, you're all
because,
talking a badge. You got nothing. Yeah, he'll play queen f5. Wow, he played it fast too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the end of that.
Yeah, he looked at it already, before he took on e6. He's like, am I mated? No, guess I'll take it.
And now if the queen moves randomly, there's queen f1 check and queen g2 mate.
Yeah. Plus, she's invested a rook at this point, so it's...
Yeah. Now this is over. Yeah. And it is over. So board 1
Down
beats
we
board
go.
4, and board 1 beats board 4 in the other game.
I wonder if she could have gone for this right back there. Rook g8, knight e6. I guess there's no need to take that knight.
No.
It is coming to g5 though. Queen f1, king here, e3. Yeah, that would have been enough for black to win anyway, probably. All right, let's see what else is happening. Elshan has got a second extra pawn in this rook endgame.
Looks really good for Elshan. And Seviet has 18 seconds to 5 minutes. Yep.
Seconds are ticking down.
Yeah, very strange pawn sacrifice and not a good use of time.
Now, if white were the one with 10 seconds, you wouldn't assume that white would win this rook endgame, would you?
I would think he would win, but I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets closer to 60% than this 100% that we have here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just totally hopeless.
All right, so what we really got to keep our eye on is this 2v3 over here, Michael Brown against Gorobets.
That's right.
And material's equal, but they've gone to straight opposite colored bishops, which I think means...
This is terrible for white because black's bishop is a monster and white's bishop is nothing. And white has 5 seconds left. Also bad.
Yep.
Yeah, and b6 is weak, c4 is weak. That's not good. Usually with rooks on the board, opposite colored bishops is winning because you can really make threats. The a pawn is really strong. The bishop on d4 controls the queening square.
He could have just run the a pawn. He chose to play rook b3 first, which isn't bad either. But
here comes the a pawn.
Here comes the a pawn. Jeez.
Yeah.
This bishop's got it all planned out here.
It's over, and he's got like 5 seconds left.
Yeah, that blocks off the rook.
That's the end of that match, right?
That's gonna decide it. Yeah.
Yep. So Dallas wins what, 3-1?
Well, that's 2-1 for Dallas, and Elshan winning this would make it 3-1.
Oh, I just already gave Elshan the win.
You already gave it to him.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is 1,000,000% winning. So 3-1 for Dallas. Yeah.
3-1.
Yep.
Oof. All right, good start for the Destiny. Should we watch him build a bridge, or should we go see what else is happening?
It's very instructive for our viewers. There you go, rook g4. Man, people don't resign around here.
No. Well, it's a team event. You played in it. Did you resign early in a team event?
I resigned every game. I was very used to it. Yeah.
You're like, all right, it's time. It's that time again.
Yeah.
All right.
And Elshan won. Yep.
All right. So the point is to shelter his king from, infinite checks, everybody, and then eventually he can queen the pawn.
Not finite checks? Okay.
Well, if he didn't block them, they would be infinite.
That's right.
So.
Okay, so who else is playing around here?
All right. So let's see who we're excited about. We could look at Chris Dictator Chirilla against Open Yagami, which is Vladimir Belos.
Which teams are this? Is Rio Grande versus San Jose?
Yeah, let me click over here for a second. It's this window here that I've got the pairings. All right, I'll flash up the pairings for everybody for a second. And we'll see Rio Grande versus San Jose Hackers. So the Hackers are playing Ivan, a 2150 player, and then 3 GMs, Chirilla, Izoria, Mamedov. Ralph Mamedov, who recently hit 2,700 FIDE, by the way.
Wow.
Just joined the 2,700 club. And Rio Grande, which is basically a college team, is my understanding, largely a college chess team. And they were quite dangerous last year because they don't have like a low rated board 4. They play like 2,400 rated FMs and IMs on their boards 3 and 4, and players who are good at rapid chess. So they don't give up any point easily. So here we've got a 2 against 3. Belos with black is board 2 for the Osprey. What a weird position. Did he sack like 5 pawns or something?
Yeah, white's up a lot of pawns. I see about 1 pawn compensation worth.
Okay.
So, in fact, white just made a threat. White threatened Rick D8 check, so black played bishop F6.
Okay. So black.
So yeah, white's up 5 pawns. You're right.
So black may have sacked 1 pawn and lost another 4.
There you go. That's probably what happened. Yeah.
Wow. That is like a huge number of pawns to drop.
Yeah, Kirilla's tough. Let's see. They claim they can't see the board. No complaining. They can only see the pairings.
I'm getting this message from the people in the know.
Yeah.
I'm getting this message from the people in the know, but I don't know if it's like a secret message for you and me, or if it's a message that they want me to pass on to all the fans about the San Jose team today. So people in the know, let me know if I should let everyone in on the know, or if I should just tell Ben in code.
Exactly.
Well,
it's good we have secrets.
The last match we saw was decided by the board 2 of one team losing to the board 3 of the other team. So we would presume that if Bellows loses this 5-pawn game to Chirilla, that would be really good news for the San Jose Hackers. These were both really strong teams last year. I think the Hackers made it into the playoffs. And did the Osprey make it into the playoffs? It was Webster and St. Lou and the Surfers and the Hackers.
Yeah, we beat, I think we beat San Diego in the playoffs. We beat some California team.
Yeah, you did.
Somebody.
Yeah, you beat them while Webster beat San Jose. It was like St. Louis versus California for one round.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming Kurilla can win up 5 pawns. Although he's repeating. I like that. Always repeat. And now he won't repeat.
I would hope not.
But it's a good start.
Yeah. How about knight G3 to H5? No, knight G3, queen C3, knight H5, rook takes H5.
Yeah. Well, after knight G3, queen C3, white would trade queens and be up 4 pawns.
Which is exactly the number of pawns he should be up, right?
That's
when
right.
He trades off black's compensation for one of his doubled C pawns.
Exactly. Let's see.
Somebody says your audio is fixed.
It is?
I
fixed it slightly, but it was so slight. That's crazy.
Nice. I mean, we pre-fixed it before the show, everybody, just so you know. It's not like we
fixed it again.
Like we just sauntered into here.
That's right. Well, I did just saunter it. But that's different. All right, let's look at another game from this match because there's too many extra pawns here. Let's look at the game where everybody's queening. Vasquez and Azoria.
Okay. Oh,
so
my goodness. He's repeating 3 times. All right.
Always repeat. Really?
Yeah, but 3 times is a lot. He just did it a 3rd time.
Rook GD1. Excuse me. And then Rook C7. Black plays for the win? What?
Black played for the win.
Rook C7?
Wow.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
These guys are either geniuses or they're not as good at counting pawns as my 3-year-old is.
I mean, this is just completely winning for white. What?
Rook A8
Rook C7.
Pretty good.
Wow, black could have claimed a draw? And he played Rook C7 losing?
Yeah, I mean, they've been repeating for the whole time we've been talking. So
all right, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go take an airplane and get in this league.
That should be enough.
Yeah, this is, come on. This is just black resigning. This is ridiculous.
Oof.
Horrible.
He's like, it may take me 4 moves, but I am going to come checkmate you on the H file.
He's up 5 pawns.
Yeah.
I mean, he has less time, but come on. Kirilla's a good player. Come on.
Yeah.
He's trying to stop queen D3, queen H3. Trying is the first step to failure. Yeah.
Yep. Black,
You gotta play Rook C3. There's no other move to
Black
counter.
really needs like a mate in one here or something that nobody can see.
Yeah, just terrible.
Some kind of surprise like queen to A1. Ooh, gotcha.
What happened?
I don't know.
Was there a surprise? Oh, you play Queen A1 and you
I'm saying that's what Black needs here.
Then
it's harder to do.
B1 and you resign? What?
Well, then I would play Bishop A3. But I mean,
Okay. Then
I think
resign. Yeah.
I think on a real board it's easier to do that. Online, the interface won't even let you. But I've heard of people trying that sort of stuff in tournaments.
Man,
Like
Queen
when
A4
all
is
else
tough to
fails.
do. Yeah.
All right, he found a mate in one. Look at that.
He's threatening.
Look at that,
He's
Ben.
threatening it. Yeah.
That's just what he needed. That's just what the GM ordered. Yeah, I'm not showing the scoreboard now. That's true.
Wow, 14 seconds. Wow. Queen F4 check.
F4.
Wow, he's got no time.
He's
10
still
seconds.
trying to get there for the mate, but he can't get there. Oh my goodness.
Wow. What a turnaround.
What?
Wait, is White winning here because he has mate?
He could still be winning, yes.
No, the king can go to D7.
King
He has to run his
F8,
king-
right? He's got to
He's got to
run
run
that
his
way.
king out to D7, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Knight
Yeah.
D4.
Now I
So
can
White's still
finally
winning.
call
Yeah, White's still winning.
He
Yeah.
hung a rook and he's still winning.
Yeah, well, he did it intentionally. Yeah, he has a knight and 4 pawns for a rook. Wow.
I mean, quasi-intentionally. His real intention was to checkmate on the H-file, and instead
Yeah,
he
of
couldn't stop rook B1 and decided, you know,
wow, this is
sack
crazy.
a rook. Still looking pretty good for him. I mean, he's threatening knight C6 at some point. Not anymore.
Double check.
Rook A6 would be rook A7 would be a nice blunder here. Didn't go for it.
Well, I want to play rook D6 so my knight's not pinned.
Yeah.
Now you can repeat it. You can't repeat. Rook, wow, king D7.
Oh.
King D7. Come on, man. With 2 minutes on your clock?
Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah.
You know what? Actually, yeah.
He was losing anyway, but that's
Yeah.
such a silly move with 2 minutes. Your opponent has seconds. Awful.
Awful. Evaluation. Awful.
And Azoria won with black against Vasquez.
Oh man, the Chinese are playing. Should we check out the Chinese?
Those guys are good. Yeah.
All right. Do you vote for Chess Panda, which I think is Yu Yang Yi? Let me just check. Let me just be sure before we, get this all wrong. Do you want to see Yu Yang Yi or Ni Hua first?
Yu Yang Yi, of course.
Yu Yang Yi, of course. All right, Chess Panda.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's playing for the Pandas. His name is Chess Panda.
Nice.
He played for them. He's kind of like their board one and their mascot all at once.
You the man, he's playing the woman. Wow. Yu Yang Yi.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. Yeah, the Chinese team is tough, but as I said, they can't play all their players, or can they? There should be some players in China who are 21, 2200 FIDE who are 200-300 points underrated. So if you can find those people, then you'll do well.
Yeah. I haven't done the research yet, but today the research question is Chu Rotong. Chu Rotong. That's their board 4 rated 2100. So if that guy's somehow 2400, then that could be GG for the league.
And you know that he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I heard they spent thousands of dollars and dozens of hours trying to get Josh Friedel to play for their team, but they couldn't do it. That's too bad.
Who tried?
The Pandas.
The Pandas.
Yeah,
that would have been perfect. He's a local player. What do you mean? He's a panda.
He's a panda. Yeah, of course. Yeah, unbelievable. They couldn't get him. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, they should play like a full theme team, just only players whose nickname has something to do with pandas.
See, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I played Pakidze once, and I don't remember what happened, but it went exactly like this.
Okay.
I was completely winning and played like a machine the first 28 moves.
Okay.
Then I hung a piece and could resign. Then I played down a piece until the game was 6 hours long and ended in a draw. It was a perfect game.
So when a GM says they don't remember at all what happened, it means you remember the exact game and everything that happened in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, there was a study-like way she could win at the end, but she had seconds on her clock, so that didn't help.
No. As we found out about 6 times already in the first like half hour of our broadcast today.
Exactly. Well, Yu Yang-yi, he must have seen the game that, let's see, I remember his name. Who's the guy who beat Sevian? Oh, Mora Diabate, right?
Sure, yeah.
So Mora Diabate played Queen B1, so Yu Yang-yi played Queen B8.
Queen B8.
He learns quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, you know what? My match starts in 10 minutes, staggered after theirs, but let me just watch their openings just in case.
Queen B1, that's a good idea. Yeah. Knight D5. So this looks like black's winning a pawn, unless I'm wrong.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I am wrong. She can take with a bishop and take with a pawn. Okay.
I don't even know which pawn they're supposed to be losing.
Yeah, I thought if she
pawn
played
takes D5, yeah.
E4 wins the H pawn. But I guess she could take with a bishop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, she took with a pawn, so it shows you what I know.
Yeah, I mean, even here, if E4, you'll have to then save your bishop and deal with whatever threat this knight makes, whether it be knight C6 or knight D2 to E4.
Yeah, but it's a pawn.
Yeah.
No, he's also considering knight C5, which also looks good. So, okay, E4.
E4 seems best. I mean, this bishop was dying to get out. I was going to say that black's position didn't look that great, given that, he's 400 points higher rated than his opponent. But now all his pieces came out.
Yeah, it looks good to me. I'm surprised she made such a decision so quickly, because bishop takes D5 doesn't lose any material as far as I can tell. That's something I would have thought about, because it's an important decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this looks good for the panda, the team and the person.
Yeah, this bishop F4 makes sense. It saves the bishop. Now, if knight C6, I think he could play queen D6, and that should be the end of that issue. Yeah.
Yeah, thinking that white has enough compensation for a pawn, that's Pakidze propaganda. That's not true. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That'll be the next level when the players start hiring other people to come into the chat room and claim that their position is good in order to intimidate the fans of the other player. I don't know how that would ever...
Donald Trump approved. That's a good idea.
I don't know how it would ever get the other player to then also know that their position is being maligned, and how they would then bungle it, but somehow.
Yeah, this looks good for black.
Somehow.
F3 is really weak, so a black knight can try to sit there. Black can play rook E8 and try to play E3. The bishop on B3 is blocked by the pawn on D5. Pawn on D5 is blocked forever. Just a pawn down, and I like black's position anyway.
Yeah, kind of getting the feeling like now that bishop on B3 is bad, there's just not much dynamism for white. No.
Yeah, rook F8, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to play either knight E5 and try to go knight F3 or play E3 and crash through. It's all good for black.
There's about 7 plans I like here for black, to be honest. And maybe I'm just too casual and optimistic, but H5, H4 looks good to me. Pawn to E3, like you said. Just bringing the other knight to C5. Playing knight E5, trading the knight and bringing the rook to E5.
Hey, H5, he's getting lessons from the Ginger GM. Put it in H.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't good for white. Black is going to have a big kingside attack. The knight has G4. The other knight has E5. E3 is coming. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's see. Now, you were talking about Nihua.
Yeah. Another option.
He has black against Ostrovsky.
Yep.
And this looks really good for black.
Ooh.
Not only does it look really good for black, I'm looking at the clock. That looks really good for black. Everything looks good for black.
I always forget to look at the clock first, but I think after one night with you, I will learn.
After one night with me, you look at the clock all the time and just go to sleep and hope that it's over soon.
Just exactly. How many more hours on this show? Oh,
that's right. Oh, you're talking about the show? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, no, it's just terrible for white.
Yeah. 10 versus 4.
When I was looking at the teams today, the lineups, I was like, that Chinese team seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Those are some good players.
Yeah.
I was like, American team, Chinese team. Wow.
Yeah.
They seem good.
Like I've heard of all these guys and never seen them lose.
No, I mean, that's a tough team. And are they a new team? I don't remember them from last year.
They're a
Were
new
they playing
team.
last year?
They were in the qualifier. They beat us all. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I was actually winning for one move against Yu Yang Yi.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like equal the whole game.
Uh-huh.
Then I was winning for one move. Then he was plus 1,000,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I resigned horribly and lost on time and got laughed at by everybody, especially my teammates. Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, so Yihua's going to win.
Yeah.
And then the Panda's going to win.
Yeah.
Okay, so they got Melik on board 3.
I mean, the Panda literally has like 2 Panda icons in a row up here. I love
That's
it.
true.
That's what I favor, you know? Like, Nazi should get like some new like picture where she's in like a rat costume or something next to this desert rat here or something, if she wants to compete with the Chinese.
So these ratings are pretty similar. Zhu Wenjun is playing Kachian.
Yeah.
She's slightly higher rated. And it's a double rook ending, but I'm confused.
What is her icon?
Yeah,
It's
who's
like
playing for the win?
It's like some kind of... I don't think it's a panda. It's like some kind of a pig in a pink robe or something. I don't know.
Okay, so he played rook b2, so Kachian's playing for the win. Because I think he could draw by taking on b3, but he's playing for a win now.
He is trying to threaten rook c1, rook
Yeah.
e1, and then rook
That's what
c to c2, right?
That's what he's going to do. Right, rook e1, rook c c2.
Yeah.
And this looks really good for black. Really
It
good.
does. It does. When you win like
Really?
3 pawns on your opponent's second rank while checking them again and again with your rooks, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. So that was a very strong move.
I forgot to look at the clock. Look at the clock, Ben.
Yeah, no, obviously.
He's up.
it's good
He's
for
up a
black.
couple minutes.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
There's been like no game yet that we looked at where the person with more time wasn't winning.
That's right. No, this is just winning, yeah. Yeah, he's going to win for sure.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
So the
I'll
Chinese will
guarantee
drop their
anything-
first point.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute. Pro Chess League is saying some crazy stuff.
Oh, goodness.
Naroditsky is replacing Mamedov, a 1-point penalty. Huh? Now the score is 2-1 after 4 games. Is this Pro Chess League math? Naroditsky is replacing Mamedov.
You're in charge of explaining this one, Ben.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, they should penalize the other team. They get to play Naroditsky instead of Mamedov. What's the problem? That's just. Oh, I wouldn't complain about that.
You know, in rapid chess, Naroditsky's pretty darn good. It's not a very big difference for the
Mamedov,
team.
I don't know. I'll take Mamedov. Yeah.
Well, have you seen have you seen the list of the highest rated blitz players on Chess.com?
I have not.
Well, I'll tell
Is
you
it
this:
me?
it's Carlsen, then
Yeah.
Nakamura.
Yeah.
It's only 5 players, and Naroditsky's on the list. So
Are you number 3?
no, my blitz rating is actually 1,500 points below
Darn, that's not as good.
Carlsen's, which is like a number I wouldn't expect to have seen again. But yeah,
Man, Naroditsky's playing like me this game. Wow. It's a good thing you're not looking because you don't want to look. Wow.
all right.
All right,
So
let's see.
instead, I'm going to look for the 4th game.
There's
of
so many
this-
games to look at. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I'm going to try and find the 4th game of this same match.
It's Dominguez
which
versus
is Dominguez.
Rutan, right?
Because somebody just claimed that Ruotong has an equal position against Dominguez. And
I agree with that.
you agree with that? So if
Yeah.
China's board 4 here, rated 2,100,
By the way,
is as good as Dominguez, that's going to be the end of the league.
He also has a 3-minute time advantage.
Uh-oh.
The Chinese player.
Nobody's ever lost with that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Although the saving grace is that the Chinese player just played F3.
Yeah.
Never play F3.
Even if you're trying to block the light squares with opposite
That's
colored
right.
bishops?
Just never play it.
Never.
Yeah.
No
Somebody
exceptions.
Somebody said it's a she, but I don't know what they're talking about.
They're talking about Ruotong. Chu
Yeah, that's-
Ruotong.
Yeah, that's what you said. Now, how's your Chinese, David? You speak a little, right?
Yeah, Yidian Dian.
Are you fluent or?
No, I just agreed that I speak a little, so
Oh, okay, good. That's fluent to me. Yeah.
I see.
Okay, shishi. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Penguin Ninja says plot twist. Chu Ruo Tong is Ding Li Ren. Now that would be a fair team.
In that case, Dominguez is doing pretty well. Dominguez thought for a minute and played A6.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Is white in Zugzwang?
You don't approve, huh?
No.
What would you play? E4?
I mean, I wouldn't have 2 minutes to 6 if I was 600 points higher rated, unless my opponent was underrated.
But if your opponent is Ding Li Ren, then it's...
Then I would resign. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. See, you don't understand, David. I was resigning before Ding Li Ren was born.
That's true.
So I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good plot twist.
For those who weren't watching last year, Dominguez did super, super well in the league last year. He had a very high performance rating. He's a good player. Yeah. He's a good 15-minute player. So this isn't just like any old 2700 board one. I mean, this is pretty insane.
Dominguez is great. Although he just played F6. I think they're like trolling me or something. Am I getting punked over here? F3, F6? Come on, man.
F3, F6. Oh, she's playing for a draw.
White's position is perfectly fine, and White has 4 minutes extra. So the Chinese team is tough. Although Zhu Wenjun is losing, so and she lost. Game's over.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't a game the Chinese were expecting to lose, but they probably weren't expecting to draw this game. So.
Right. So here we've got the results, final positions. Katian wins. Katian had a great year last year.
Yeah.
He's not an 18-year-old Chinese prodigy, but he had a really good season anyway.
He's at least 19, at least.
Jeez, do you see the final position of Yu Yangyi's game?
I do not. Let's see.
You should have seen it. He got every piece to the square you wanted on.
I see it. Yeah.
The queen to G3 and the 2 knights, and he's like, I'm going to triple checkmate you somehow on this square.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, White's position does not see good. Yeah.
No.
Not good.
So this endgame, Ni Hua has increased his lead from about 1 pawn to about 3. So
that is looking likely.
That's still going well for China. So let's see what Dominguez can come up with here. I mean, he's a world class player playing against somebody you've never heard of. So you got to think he's got chances, no matter how equal the position is.
He's my favorite player, even though I thought it was a man like a minute ago. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, a player that most of us haven't heard of.
And he's giving her 5-to-1 odds.
Giving 5 minutes to 1 odds. That's appropriate given his world class status.
There you go. Yeah. Well, he's tempting her to play G4 and try to win that bishop.
Yeah. A temptation that does not appeal to me, but what do you think? He's like, that was your one chance. I'm going to make you regret it. I'm going to make you regret it. You had one chance to play G4. You could have beaten me.
Well, I don't know if it wins, but it would have been interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
H5. It's hard to see White losing this. I'm not sure what White can do to lose.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out. I mean, you got to assume like there's order in the world, right? Like Dominguez is going to win somehow against somebody that no one except for Ben has heard of.
Not when it's 4 minutes to less than a minute. No, he's got no time.
I guess 2 different world orders come into conflict here. The rule that you can't win with less time, and the rule that if you're Dominguez, you have to win.
Yeah, he's not going to win. I usually bet on the player who's 600 points higher rated. Usually, that's my rule, but not here.
It's a solid bet. Ooh, she's really pursuing that queen trade. It's going to be.
No.
It's going to be hard.
If he keeps avoiding it, he might lose one of his queenside pawns.
Right. So. It's going to be hard to avoid it. Oh, there it goes.
He sacrificed a pawn. He wants to play queen b1, queen f1.
Have your choice. I mean, she can go queen a6, queen c4 check, and then queen c1 and just win the game if he goes queen b1, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what you would call a risky strategy by black, right?
Well, he has no time on his clock, so he has to win. I mean, he thinks he has to win. Okay,
I mean, he could have traded queens on b6, and he wouldn't have lost, right?
Now she can check on a8, and if king h7, queen e4 check.
Queen e4 check.
And
that's rough.
King f7, I guess, plays for the win, but you're also playing for the loss.
Yep. And then there's queen d5, queen d2. I mean, which is a
I
fine
mean, the question is
repositioning.
whether or not she's going to win. So
Yeah.
he has no winning chances at all, and he's down a pawn, and he has no time.
I don't see her missing queen a8. That seems pretty strong.
She played queen b5, threatening queen e8 check.
There it is.
Also seemed reasonable.
The universe is trying to guide the 2700 to a victory.
7. Now queen d5 looks reasonable.
Then queen b2.
Then queen c4.
Queen a3.
You drew. You did it.
Yes!
Yeah. Although after queen a3, I play queen h4, and I'm still much better. Much better. And then I went on time. Yay.
Win on time.
Yeah.
You can't win on time against Dominguez. Okay, this guy has played World Blitz Championships against Carlsen and Grishuk. He's not just some guy.
Is there delay or increment? I forgot.
Yeah, they've got some kind of increment going on here. They
Oh.
should have like 2 seconds. He's not going to lose ever.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yes, I do, Bunny Fox Rabbit.
Ooh, queen g6.
This is a pretty... Dominguez's offer has gotten better as time went on. He's like, now I'll let you play an endgame without the queens and the extra
g4
pawn.
takes, king g3, bishop f1.
Okay, how does black win this one?
Wow.
I've got no idea. That's a good start, though, h4.
Yeah, it's good not to lose because he doesn't have any time on his clock. So I guess he'll draw this. Wow. Okay, and Nihua did win with 1,000 extra pawns. So it looks like China's going to win 2.5, 1.5. Yeah, the pandas will win.
Yeah, the pandas will win.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm getting some advice.
Despite Melik's win. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
What's that?
Something's wrong with my screen capture.
What? How could you?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Some extra game started or something, and it got messed up. My apologies, everybody. You really got to keep your eye on everything when you're doing this streaming business, you know.
Yeah, my doctor won't let me stream anymore. That's why I asked you to do it. Yeah.
Like while I'm fixing the screen capture, someone's probably going to steal a piece from somebody else. I won't notice it.
No, don't do that.
And then I'll look back and somebody else will be winning the game. Nope, opposite colored bishops doesn't happen like that. Thank goodness.
No. I'm trying to see if anything crazy is happening.
Thanks, team.
You know, the first game I looked at that wasn't in this match
Yeah.
was Sevi and Breckenridge. Sevian's down a piece, which I assume he sacrificed.
Okay.
And I guess he's trying to win it back.
Yeah.
Very confused about this position.
All right.
Yeah, maybe he's okay. He can win
I'm
his piece
looking
back.
for it. He's Justice Bots, right?
That's
Justice
right.
Bots.
Yeah.
Breckenridge.
Yeah.
All right, I found him.
Yeah.
So, piece
Yeah,
down.
White just played Rook F3, so I guess he's okay.
Sevion. I mean, he's
Yeah,
also
Sevion
got potential attacking ideas, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Yeah,
even winning.
It's a Sevian kind of position. Yeah.
Maybe he's even winning.
Yep.
Um,
No, Rook F3 is, yeah, it has to be winning for White now. Once he gets his piece back, Black's king is way too exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Andreev beat Moradiabadi.
Okay. That's one for the surfers.
A very positional game where Black got checkmated in the middle of the board in the end game. Wow. That's unusual.
Whoa, knight d5. So we could have some tactics now, right?
Knight d5. Wow, that's giving up g6. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he loses if he doesn't do it. So I can just take the bishop and then check on g6, check on
You
h6.
could, yeah.
And yeah. I'm sure this is just mate. Isn't like Rook g3 mate somehow? There has to be mate here.
Maybe.
I don't see the mate, but there has to be a mate. Although, if I play queen h6, check, king g8, rook takes e3, that's just winning. Then I got like a million pieces on your king, and material's equal. So that's winning for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very easy win. He might have some mate I don't see, but it's like my game with Mama Jarv. Everything wins. You and Yermo were confused. This wins, this wins, this wins. Yeah. Good coverage, by the way, David. Good job. I watched that video a lot. You guys did a great job.
You watch that frequently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I couldn't watch it during the game. That was too bad.
That was too bad.
Yeah. Queen b1 check, delaying the inevitable.
Oh, sorry. Let me refresh the real position. Queen b1 check, delaying the inevitable. There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Huh. I hadn't seen the checkmate yet, but, you know, I'm just fiddling around with my screen the whole time.
Exactly.
But is this over? Can you give us your grandmasterly word?
Yeah, because if he plays knight takes e3,
yeah,
a simple win is to play queen g6, queen h6,
yeah,
take on e3 with my rook, and
then just do whatever.
I have like more material and I'm mating you. So yeah, it's horrible.
Fair enough.
There must be a quicker win too.
I mean, now that the queen is on b1, there is a quicker way. There's a checkmate with rook g3, like king f7, and queen e6.
Yeah. Okay, he didn't take the rook, so now white's up material.
Yeah.
And has a mating attack. Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
that's just an easy win for Sam. All right, what else is interesting?
Yeah. All right. So far, looking at the matches, nobody's run away with any of the matches. I mean, nobody's more than 1 point ahead. So
yeah, and Dominguez
things are
game
pretty
was a
close.
draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one over here ended in a draw. So the unheralded Chinese player, pretty darn good in their first outing.
Yeah, should be heralded. Yeah.
Arm Akiba. Let's check him out. That's Gabriel Sargsyan. I remember him.
Let's see.
Arm Akiba. He's a slugger, a Seattle slugger.
Oh, the Seattle games. I didn't know that they started. And
yeah.
Word on the street was that Kara's not playing this match.
He is not. He is not. Instead, they've got Sargsyan and Mark Belashvili playing for them.
Sargsyan's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very bad record against Mark Belashvili, but a bad record against Sargsyan too. When I played Sargsyan in the Chicago Open, he wrote down Alex Fishbite on his score sheet. So I told Varakobian, he looked and he said, "No, that's not Fishbite." He said, "Who is it?" And he said, "It's Feingold." And I said, No. Don't change that. That way, if you win, I want to. It was good.
Exactly. He can't make any claims, right? He's like threefold repetition. You're like,
Yeah.
The score sheet is wrong.
Yeah, but unfortunately he did win, so it was terrible. All right, now what's his name?
His name is Arm Akiba. ARM like Armenian.
Oh, I see it.
Dash Akiba, perhaps a reference to Rubinstein.
Possibly.
There have been only so many really strong chess players named Akiba.
That's true. So he's white against James Morris, who I assume is from Australia.
Could be. He's got a spangly flag next to him.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks vaguely British colonial, you know, like someplace the British came to.
Aren't they the Kangaroos? It's a good name.
Their team?
Yeah.
Yes. Their team are the Australia Kangaroos.
Nice.
And they're sporting a super balanced lineup today. Like their lowest rated player, 2468 FIDE, like 30 points below the average. So
well, I heard they were going to show up late to the round, and their coach said, "Let's hop to it." So then they showed up on time. Exactly.
Ouch.
Yep. One joke in the pouch. Well, this seems like white has plenty of nothing, but maybe nothing's plenty for him.
Yeah, he certainly played a fairly symmetrical structure from the get-go.
They have a couple of good players on their team. Anton Smirnov is a really good junior player, and he came to St. Louis and crushed our juniors a few months ago.
Okay.
Also, Illingsworth, I think, won the
In a
Australian
in a simul or a tournament?
some huge score. No, in a match, we had like a Wonder and Sevian and those guys.
Okay.
And it was like them against us. Them was everybody, every country.
Okay.
And we had like Jeffrey Zhang, a Wonder, Sevian, and we got crushed.
And Smirnov like could face off with those guys?
Yeah, we got crushed, man.
All right.
All those guys beat us. Man. Yeah. Yeah, we had to move to Branson, Missouri, and now he's Yakov Smirnov. It's terrible. Terrible things happen. They ride kangaroos to work every day. Is that a question? Let's see.
No,
I can't answer these questions.
It's a we. This is an actual Australian or an actual Australian telling you what they do.
That's one of the best Simpsons episodes where they go to Australia. It was before you were born. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. I've heard of The Simpsons though.
There you go. Yeah. You learned about it in history class?
History of digital media.
Exactly.
We don't use digital media anymore. That was old.
What do we use now?
Social.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was being antisocial there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I think that's what they hired you for.
Yeah. This game is too boring. We need an exciting game.
You're right. That's why we're not talking about it. I'm going to switch to something else.
Yeah,
How about Lanier Dominguez versus Zhu Wenjun and a French defense? How do you feel about the French? Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
So I got click it. Here. Yeah. Both players very unhappy after their first game. Zhu Wenjun, Melik, and Dominguez drawing the board 4. Maybe you should be happy drawing that board 4.
Yeah, this will be the rage matchup.
That's right. Although looking at the mascots of the teams, I'm not sure if there's a lot of rage there, but
no, I mean the panda's pretty happy. The desert rat looks like he's kind of like happy to just make your stuff dirty. But these two players, you can't please everybody in a chess match.
There should be a team in the Pro Chess League from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They could be called the Desert Roses. Yeah, that would be a good team.
That would be a good team.
Yeah, we could have Sweet D on board 1. Man, they would argue which board numbers they would play.
They would never actually sit down to play. That would be that would be the It's Always Sunny.
But Dane
take
DeVito
on a chess match.
He'd be a great chess coach. He'd be a good coach though. So
yeah.
He'd be
and people would be like, "Oh, your team is coached by Ben Feingold?" They'd be like, "No, Danny DeVito."
That's right. Even better, if that's possible.
I think it is. It's got to be. There's always somebody better.
Man, Dominguez is getting mad. Knight F4, H4. Wow, he's putting it in H. It worked for Yu Yang in the first game. He played H5 and won against Ozzy. So
yeah, that's the angry move. I was expecting it too.
Yeah,
I was sitting here calculating H4 while we were talking about Philadelphia.
Wow.
My calculation went like this: H4 looks good. Maybe we could play Knight G5. Maybe we won't. H4 looks good. Yeah, play H4. There you go. H6. That's everything.
I think Bishop H7 check was coming. Yeah.
I hadn't gotten that far yet, but apparently Zhu Wenjun did.
Yeah. Yeah, H6 looks correct.
Mm-hmm.
This looks really good for white. I like white.
I like whoever's move it isn't. When it's white's move, it's hard to come up with a move for black, so I'm like, yeah, I'm white. And when it's white's move, I'm like, oh, I'm black. There's nothing for white to do here.
Well, he played Bishop C2.
Came up with something.
His intention's very obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's come up with something at least mildly productive, which would be rerouting his queen to H7.
That's right. And if black plays C4, there's no more counterplay. So she played queen A6.
Yeah. That's the kind of defense you dream of, man, right? Yeah. Now there's B5, B4 at some point as well. Although B5, Queen D3 wouldn't work out just yet, but you know.
Yeah. I think she had to play Queen A6 because you can't play C4 and give up your counterplay. Got to open the center on the queen side eventually.
Mm-hmm.
See, once black plays H6, it's very hard to play F6 and open up the center. Yeah. Which wasn't going to happen anyway. Never play F6, but now you never play F6. Never,
if you're going to say never play F6, you might as well tell these people not to play the French because
it's going to be hard. And don't play f6. That's all.
Seriously, you want them to play this structure all their life and never play f6?
Man, they better never play f6 in this position.
Okay.
Yeah, they better.
Well, that's because they've played h6.
That's right. Unless they're playing me. Yeah.
If they're playing you, they're welcome to play the French, then play h6, and then f6.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Frankly, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're all talking about Sonny in the chat. That was my goal.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
You're one of the producers of the show, right? Just trying to make more money.
That's correct. Yeah.
Well, it is difficult to come up with a plan for black here without f6, without b5. Black's kind of stuck. And queen a6 took the pressure off of d4, so it gives white extra options as well. Like, you can develop bishop e3 now because your b pawn's not hanging. But more fun would be g4, g5. Can I get your approval? I know Ginger GM would approve, but how about you?
G4, G5. Okay, I approve. Why not? You're a fine co-host.
That was easy.
Yeah. Rook h3. I was thinking that also, but I wasn't sure. I guess after rook g3, I can play knight h5.
Yeah, that would be a way to find a target.
Or maybe it's too sane. Yeah, I don't like black's position. Black doesn't have any counterplay anywhere. This is why I gave up playing the French defense before you were born, which is true. And when I was a kid, I played it every game, and I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Kept getting checkmated. Yeah. That's a good comment in the chat. They like the banter between Proust and Fishbein. That's good. That's a good comment. Yeah. I try my best.
That guy gets a free diamond membership.
Well, that guy gets a diamond, and that guy gets a diamond. Oh, that's somebody else. Never mind.
Just give them all out.
Yeah, they should hire Oprah to do commentary. That would be good. Everybody get a free diamond membership. Yeah. Would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, this game's too easy. Let's go to somebody else. Somebody else beating on somebody.
But we do want to pop back at some point when something gets sacked on g7 or h6.
Of course.
So warn us, guys, when it's time.
Let's see.
Chess Panda's playing again.
That's what I was looking at.
Why not learn from the best?
Looks like some crazy Sicilian.
It's early on as well, but yeah, that is a weird. It's a Trompowski. That's a very weird Sicilian. The weirdest kind of Sicilian.
What didn't you do? You didn't look at the clock.
I didn't.
I
10 seconds.
I can't believe how much time White has. Wow.
10 seconds to do this.
This is good prep.
So look at this weird Sicilian. I'm just playing through the moves so everybody can see how he got here. E4, CD4, E5, G5. Crazy town. H4, G4. When G4 is your best move here, that's not a very good sign, is it?
It's a Trompowski Sicilian. That's all.
I mean, why wouldn't you play any other move other than that? Bishop G7? I don't know. Okay, G4. He takes it. Knight C6, Knight F3.
Okay. Looking at the ratings, looking at the clock, looking at the position.
Is it consistent or does it create some dissonance for you?
Yeah, Emerson was right. It's the hobgoblin of white winning. Yeah.
All right. I'm getting a tip to check out Ivan Ke. I don't yet know whether to pronounce his name like Ke or Ki, but let's just say Ke for now.
Well, it says he won.
Oh, he already won? Well,
he won with black against Balus. It says he won.
Too late to check him out then, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's too bad.
I mean, I wouldn't resign here if I was...
Wait, he won his first 2 games?
Well, he's too good.
But he's a board 4. He's 2100 and he played 2 GMs.
Yeah, but you can't pronounce his last name, so he's got to be good.
He can always say nobody's ever heard of me because nobody's ever said his name right.
That's correct. Yeah, wow. He found the key to success. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still on this Yu Yang Yi game since I can't find Ivan, but...
I found his game immediately.
Okay.
What happened? Yeah, he's Open Yagami. Good name. Or maybe that's his opponent.
No, that's his opponent. But how do you find the game? I don't see it here.
I saw it. Yeah. It's right there. It's where I'm clicking. Oh, I have a different computer.
It's right there where you're clicking.
It's right there. I can't you see it?
All right. What's Ivan's name? Tell me Ivan's name for a second.
Which Ivan? Oh, Ivan's name. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Knight 8700. With a rating like that, he's got to be good.
8,700.
Yeah.
All right.
Knight 8,700.
It's true. He's beaten.
It's funny. He has a really good knight in this position.
He's beaten 2,600 GMs in a row.
Yeah.
His first game, Kingside Pawn Storm. Complicated game. All right. Let's go back. Games. Grab his other one.
Why would White resign when Black had 30 seconds left? What? I would never think of resigning here. Crazy resigning.
Somebody resigned with time?
They resigned, and Ivan had 37 seconds left.
In which game? Open Yagami? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a crazy resignation. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rook against a piece.
I don't know. Yeah.
What prompted him to resign? It's a rook against a piece.
Maybe he clicked the wrong button. Like the guy offered him a draw and he clicked accept but clicked resign. No. I would not consider resigning here.
It's because he's forcing a trade of knight for one of the bishops, right? He's got knight f1 or knight g4 check. And then...
No, he's losing, but I would never resign here. Never.
Okay. Fair enough.
Never, ever. 37 seconds left.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But do remember they do have that 2-second increment.
Never. Look, I don't resign. You know.
Yeah.
So. Wait, I always resign. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know about the H-file, guys. I just, for 10 seconds, I wasn't going to fiddle for 10 seconds just to see the H-file for 10 seconds when there were no pieces on it. Matter. There were no pieces on the H-file. You know, you could see the end game without it. So.
No.
All right, so it looks like Andre's trying to castle queenside here against Yu Yang Yi. This game's definitely got the thrill factor with the messed up kings. I mean, White can't castle kingside without sacking the knight on d2, can't castle queenside without queen a2. I kind of like that Ostrovsky put his queen on a5. It makes things a little less simple for White.
Yeah, but I think White's up a pawn with compensation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that trade on c6 seemed like a good moment to do that as well.
White's up 2 pawns?
Yeah. Yeah, up 2 pawns now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good for White.
Black's going to need an attack, and to get an attack, he's going to need another developed piece, if not 3 more. So, what does he have here? e5, queen to e4. Doesn't seem too potent.
No, he played h5, put it in h.
There, he's playing bishop h6, right? He's getting a piece out.
Yeah, well, he's playing h5, so Ginger GM is happy.
How does he evaluate things when both players move their h-pawn, like this position?
Then it's a draw, yeah. I assume queen e2.
Queen e2 and offer a draw, just get it over with.
Very safe. Yeah, it looks terrible for Black.
Mm-hmm.
2 pawns up, beautiful pawn on d6, bad pawn structure for Black. Yeah, not good. And 6 minutes behind on the clock, which is serious.
That is serious.
6 minutes is a lot in a game 15.
So White plays either queen e4 or queen e2, right? And then...
Yeah, I predict queen e2 just to make the d2 knight safer.
Right, looking to castle kingside.
Yeah, then he can put his other knight on b3 and do what he wants.
So queen e2, bishop h6, knight from d4 to b3 to try and castle. It's hard to see Black's compensation. I agree.
No, his bishop on d7 is terrible. Yeah, it's just terrible. Not very shocking that Yu Yang Yi's doing well.
No. But he made it look kind of exciting, you know, rather than just simple.
He played the Hua seems like he's doing really well against Pakidze.
He played the Chinese whole qualifier for them.
Wow.
So, let's see. Glancing at the scoreboard, Dallas has a 1-point lead over the Surfers at halftime. San Jose 4-1 over Rio Grande. That's the first real lead we're seeing.
Mm-hmm. No, wait, which team got penalized?
San Jose, I think, got penalized a point, and they're still somehow
And
ahead
they're
4
still
to
at
1.
4-1? Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait, is that them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the team. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a draw between Dragoon and Trilla in that match.
And they both have no time.
Yeah.
I predict anything but a draw.
What?
Yeah, anything but a draw.
Like, okay.
Black winning is more likely than a draw.
Can't Black just play, like, I don't know, Rook takes G7 there and draw?
Yeah, Rook takes C3, yeah.
Or Rook takes C3?
Now Black won't win. Yeah.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
chance?
10 seconds should be enough because he's in the right place at the right time. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to mouse slip his bishop to fulfill your prediction.
This is hard to lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't lose. You could try to lose, but it's not easy.
No. I'm not sure how you'd do it.
It's not easy.
You can even just play bishop G8, bishop H7 to avoid any mouse slip, right? There's just no way to mouse slip if that's all you do.
Yeah, it's hard to lose this. I mean, our viewers would find a way how, but I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
So you were right, a draw. I was wrong as usual.
You got a lot of other ones right. Like every single other one.
Drawn by stalemate.
Drawn by stalemate. That's the way to go. If you're going to end a game with a draw, I vote stalemate.
I agree.
All right, so let's see what else is going on. We've got Sebastian against Ju Wen Jun. Has that gotten any more interesting? Yeah. She sacked her knight for the 2 center pawns because she couldn't move anything else.
Right.
And he didn't really have like the easiest position to consolidate, so he decided, what the heck, I'll still try and checkmate. That's my interpretation.
So he's up a piece with a mating attack.
Yeah. That's the idea, yeah.
I mean, all of White's pieces are pointing at Black's king, all of them.
Yeah.
So this is just terrible. F5, blocking the bishop on C2.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly weakening E6 and G6.
Yeah. Huh.
Knight D3, trying to get rid of Black's only good piece. Huh?
Yeah. Maybe there was some reason Knight F3 was bad. I thought that was coming.
That looks good also.
Okay.
Everything looks good.
For those wondering, the vote in was won by Minnesota. San Jose had already qualified by making the playoffs last year, so that's why they're back this year. They were one of the stronger teams last year.
It's funny, when we were trying to qualify here in Atlanta, we knew if we tie with Minnesota, we would lose in the voting, so we knew we had to come ahead of them.
Yeah.
Because they have Bartholomew, we can't beat that. So
no,
for popularity, yeah, they had the upper hand. Also, we didn't beat anybody. We lost all of our games. That also was bad.
That also hurts your chances of winning.
That's right. Yeah.
Like we were going to qualify till the other team scored better than us.
On your favorite show, The Simpsons, that you watch all the time.
Yeah.
There's an episode where Mo, the bartender, explains when he was a boxer that he didn't get the championship fight because it was all politics. He said, everything in boxing is politics. And I lost all of my fights. And yeah.
Yeah.
So there was politics. We knew that they would get in, but also we didn't beat anybody. So.
Right.
Hey, he played Knight F3. He must have heard you. You can't be telling them the moves, David.
Yeah.
He played Knight D3 and Knight F3. Yeah. So for those of you who are watching, White wants to play Bishop H6.
Yep.
He got his knight out of the way of his rook and his bishop. So White is trying to attack the king, and White has an extra piece. And Black's trying to get this massive center pawns going, which, too slow, too late.
Yeah. Advice for Black. I don't know.
I mean, I play Knight F7 if I could. Can I?
You can.
All right, so maybe I'll play that.
White can. Yeah, and then if White plays Bishop takes H6, You might have queen takes g3 at the end of everything.
Right, yeah, I would say, yeah. But I guess white can play bishop f4 there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't look good when you're down a piece and defending against evading it. It's no fun.
And then if the queen backs off of g3, white could then take on h6. So,
Yeah.
low on fun for black at the moment, unless we're missing something really cool.
We would never do that. Well, maybe. So it's not the best match for Zhu Wenjun, but her teammates are. There's always somebody who's not having a good match, but the teammates make up for it.
Yeah, if everybody has a good match, it's almost not fair.
Yeah, the other players seem to be doing very well. The ones that I'm watching.
So let me check in on this Nihua game you mentioned. Knight, bishop, rook, knight, bishop, rook. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It takes quite a bit longer to count Nihua's pawns, so I guess he's winning.
That's right.
Rook takes g7?
Yep.
Did we tune in just in time to to solve a little puzzle?
Yep. There's a lot of solutions to that puzzle, but that's the main one.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose rook d8, you just trade rooks and then play knight takes e4. You could do that too.
Bishop takes e5 was also okay. Everything was good.
Yeah. Those do not make the best puzzles when every move is kind of similarly winning.
Exactly, yeah.
You just sit there for 3 minutes, like, should I go up 2 pawns or 3 pawns?
How does somebody not resign here? What's going on?
It's a team event. That's how team events are played.
I resign for her. Can I do that?
You could try.
Let's see.
Do you have a resign button on your screen?
I resign. Okay. Let's see if that worked.
You just type it in as a command. Maybe you have to type /resign.
I resign. People are talking about that I'm a vegan. That's correct. I've been a vegan for 18 days.
Wow. How are you holding up?
Well, it's not difficult. The question is, did I become a vegetarian before you were born? I don't know how old you are.
That's been apparent throughout the show.
I think you're older than my vegetarianism.
Yeah, most likely.
I've been a vegetarian 32 years.
Yeah, I got you beat by 4.
What's that? I lost you for a second. Say that again.
I got you beat by 4 years on that one.
Okay, you got me. Okay, good.
Yeah, maybe even 5. I might have forgot how old I am.
That's also possible, as long as we both forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's saying the hackers are crushing the Ospreys. Wasn't that the team that was punished?
Yeah, the hackers were punished.
I guess they weren't punished very much. Wow.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough to make up for Naroditsky. Yeah, I told you he was good.
Let's punish them enough. Come on, give them 5-point penalty. See what happens.
Let's see who's playing right now for them. Ooh. All right, we got to check in on this again. This is on Melik playing white against Chu Ruotong. In the first week, the first thing I want to sort of scout out is all the top board 4s. Because my theory of how this kind of league works is that there's some degree of parity at the very top sometimes.
Somehow Melik played b5. Wow.
Yeah.
Like undefending the pawn on c5? That seems very dangerous.
Right.
Why would you move your pawn away from b4? Wow.
And now he leaves d4 hanging because he's got a5 hanging.
Right, and then everything's hanging for white. f4, h4, f5, c5. Wow.
Yeah, but he just wants to go bishop a5, bishop c7, and just win off of that. Well, here it comes.
She could have played knight b3. Oh, no, queen makes b3 is check. Never mind.
Yeah. All right, maintaining the c7 pawn. That makes sense since that's white's one winning plan. So Melik's got 2 extra pawns, one of them not looking very healthy.
I mean, she could have played rook takes f4, and then if knight g2, rook takes f5, attacks c5. That was also possible. So I don't think this was necessary, but this seems very hard for white to win. All the pawns are weak. And black has great pieces. All of black's pieces are great. Always play bishop f8.
That's true. That was one of your lessons today.
Yeah.
Never f3, always bishop f8, always check the clock. Churua Tung is up 1 minute on the clock. That means they're both kind of using their time okay in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like she's better than 2100 strength, if you know what I mean.
So far, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. She'll have to play a match with Ivan for domination of board 4.
Right.
Okay, yeah. What else is going on?
But, you know, that was kind of my thought last year, was that the archbishops, because of your board 4, because of Rosenthal.
Yeah.
Like,
go Nikki.
That was kind of why I picked you guys to win the championship from you know, some early point where they filled out brackets. No.
Aw.
I would love to say it was, but I mean, truthfully, my thought was, like, you could trade, you know, Caruana for Carlson, for whoever, but like Rosenthal scoring 2 points on board 4 every match, like that's going to be decisive. Yeah,
we did really well against Marseille. He beat MVL and he drew Bacro and he beat somebody else.
Right. Yeah, that's just stupid, right? I mean, what chance did the other team have? I'm sure he scored against their 4th board too. So
yeah, we beat them 9.5, 6.5. Yeah, they had MVL, Bacro, and Gazzoli.
Yeah, and Gazzoli had a huge performance. I mean, people outside of the Pro League will be more familiar with MVL and Bacro, but Gazzoli had a really good record in the Pro League last year.
Except for one game that he played against Ben Feingold. That was his only loss.
One bad day.
One bad loss, that's right. Yeah.
Or one bad pairing, you could say.
That's what it was, yeah.
Well, it looks like Black's got enough activity to hold this thing together. I don't see how Melik would be winning this game. I say, as if it's a deep reason, but really it's his extra pawns have all dried up.
Yeah, the pawns are all gone. Yeah, and he has 2 minutes less.
Now it's
not
looking
only is she playing
bad.
As well as her opponent, she always has more time.
Yeah.
That's
looking a little bit bad for him.
Wow. She might win this game.
Yeah, I can see it. There's rook b3, rook f3, and rook h3. I think the h-pawn's the least valuable, so I don't know. Maybe one of the other moves. Maybe rook to a2 is good too. Who knows?
Yeah, rook b3 was played.
Okay.
That seems very strong.
It seems like the safest of the many options I mentioned. Like the least chance of losing, you know, maybe not trying the hardest to win, but very low chances of losing it.
Rook e1 wants to play rook e8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you can allow rook e8 and then play king f7, rook f8, check, king e7. Sometimes that works out, right?
Well, then I play c6 and it doesn't work out.
So it doesn't work out here.
Yeah.
Just saying, that's a thing. That sometimes happens.
Yeah, she played king f7 with a repetition in the offing with knight e5 check.
I'd be pretty happy to find a repetition at this point as white.
Yeah, I mean,
even against somebody hundreds of points lower rated than me, if they were a mysterious.
He's down 2 minutes and he has 2 pawns hanging. Yeah. But yeah, these guys usually don't want to draw. When you're paired down, you do anything to win.
Yeah, I'm sure Melik has more confidence than I have. That'll be one of the differences between us.
If she can play knight f6 here, she plays for the win.
I was thinking that knight f6 might be a way to keep going.
Yeah.
Anything else?
All of white's pawns are hanging. Yeah. Then white could play c6. So that's dangerous.
And then if you trade knights and play rook d3,
I could do that, or I could take on b5. Yeah, it's all good for black.
Okay.
Yeah, she might play for the win.
She's investing some time in that thought. Meanwhile, Nihua has won.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. That was not surprising.
Yep.
Ben advocated resignation, but you do that often, I guess.
And Yu Yang Yu won by checkmate.
Lanier Dominguez has an interesting position still against Wen Jun. He's got his knight on e5. He's got through to h6.
Well, this is just over. He's up a piece and black has nothing.
He's up a piece, yes.
For nothing. For no pawns.
Ooh.
And now resigns is the only move.
I don't know. Now that bishop gets in.
I guarantee resigns.
Mm-hmm.
Any other move is triple question mark. What?
There you have it. Another move.
How could I be wrong?
Rook g6, but we'd rather have something flashier that sacks the queen.
I can't believe she didn't resign. Although I wouldn't have resigned either if I saw g6. I shouldn't see it. Always play bishop f8. Rawr.
Well, rook g6 is pretty
Rook
thrashing
G6
here.
Is really strong.
Yeah.
Do I have some mate with queen h8? I might. Queen h8, king h8, knight f7.
Knight f7.
What do you do then?
King g8.
Rook g6.
King f7.
Oh no, king f7.
Yeah, sorry. Your knight's there.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Am I losing there? Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
No, the queen h8 was so nice.
I know, it's sad. I was looking at four different queen sacks and none of them seemed to be working.
But this is so easy. Wow,
yeah, this is so easy. It's hard not to just go for this.
Yeah. I think I'd play queen f5 here.
Okay. I was looking at knight d7, rook d7, bishop g7, rook g7, queen f6, king to e8, and then a pleasant choice between taking the rook on g7, taking the queen with bishop f7 check, and various attempts at checkmate.
Wow, this looks good. Bishop c5. That looks good.
Yeah, that was even better, huh?
That was even better. Yeah, for e7, queen f7 mate for our viewers.
Uh-huh. All right, I'll show them.
Yep.
I don't know if we've had a checkmate on the board yet today, so let's do it. There it is. All right, back to Melik. Chu Rotong, she's up a pawn. She didn't take the draw, did she? She went for...
Let's see, what did she do?
She went for knight f6.
That was a long time ago.
She went for knight f6, like you had said, was the way out of the repetition.
Yep.
Then took the b pawn, transferred to a rook and pawn ending. And this, folks, is how we get this material balance.
This looks winning to me.
Okay, how do you win it?
Your king's so far away.
What's the plan? Do we bring the black rook to g3 at some point, or e3?
Yeah.
What's the... Yeah?
Yeah,
So
she should play... I thought she would play king h4 and then put her rook on h3. But the king on the f file tries to stop the white king from getting back.
It can shoulder the white king away, and then the h pawn is one step closer to queening. So now the idea is rook e8 to e3?
Yeah, rook g8 to g3. They both look good.
Actually, rook e8 to e3 is a draw because you can trade rooks and draw.
Yeah, you have to go to g3.
So we have to go through g3, huh?
Yep.
And that allows white to play rook a4 check.
King g5.
Force the black king back to g5.
That's okay.
And
the white king doesn't really have any way to get back.
The white king is just kind of cut. Huh?
Yeah. Even if it's a draw, it seems really hard to draw.
I think I can maybe see a path to a draw, though. Huh.
I see nothing.
Nothing? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in my element with an endgame, so I won't claim to see it.
This seems right.
I'm thinking white brings the king to e4 after rook check, king g5, king d5, rook h3, king e4, and then bring the rook to the 8th rank after that.
Yeah, but is that a draw or a loss? I don't know. Your king's cut off.
Well, because then rook a8, rook g8. How does the black king keep shouldering?
She just played king e4. So king g4, that's right.
She found somewhere to go.
Oh, no. If it is a draw, I'm glad I don't have white with 19 seconds left. That's all I can say. I would never draw this with white with 19 seconds. Never. Yeah, just rook a3, rook b3, whatever. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's right. Aha, this is a really good method. What he's doing is right. He got his king to f4. Was that necessary? Did she have to allow that? Probably. Well, then it's an easy draw. He got his king to f4.
There we go.
Wow. Drawn by agreement. I don't know if it was that easy. But
Yeah.
all right. Well, she's still for board 4. That's
Well, one of the first
Actually, I was
draws
lucky
we've
to draw.
seen.
Wow.
One of the first draws we've seen. And
Wow.
oh,
Well, she
that's
also drew Dominguez.
that's confusing. Melik's playing for the Desert Rats instead of for the Surfers this year. So Melik is a gun for hire now.
Shocking.
He's
But not too
switched.
shocking.
He switched allegiances. So far, this leaves the Chengdu Pandas up 5-3 after 2 rounds with
Oh,
2
you have
rounds
the
to go.
results.
I've got results. 5-3.
And San Jose's up 5-2, but they should be up 6-2, I guess.
Yeah.
They were deducted a point.
All right, I just clicked on Naroditsky, so this will be your first chance to see him play. Young American player, GM. Have you ever heard of him, Ben?
Wait, is his first name Danya?
Yep, that's the one.
Let's see. Never heard
That's
of
the
him.
one.
Okay, maybe.
He's playing Fischer random chess today. Somehow he got Bellows to agree. Started with his king on d1.
Let's see. I'm trying to find him. I
Okay.
found him. It was easy
Nicely
to find
done.
him. His name was Daniel Naroditsky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of his brand. But he actually started the game with 1b3. That's part of
Yeah. I saw the
how we got
first
to this
4
weird
loses,
thing.
but I was confused.
Wow, this is a very confusing start. How he loses this pawn, and then gets it back, and then gives up the f pawn. What the? Wow,
Yeah. Now he's down 2 pawns.
he's down 2 pawns. This is how I play, Ben. This is how I play. Fischer random. Sack the pawn on f2 with check. March around while your opponent checks you and takes your pawns. But as I told you, he's a good player.
You know, it's still theory. That's the funny part.
Mm-hmm.
Still theory.
Yeah, he's thinking a moment, but Bishop f7 has been played 7 times by Richard Rapport here.
That's right. Yeah. We get along really well. We have a really good rapport.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. But Danya's spent half his time already thinking about this.
Very suspicious.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to play 1b3, you have to know your theory.
Very, very suspicious. The only thing they talk about in the chat is being a vegan. That's correct. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's right. We have the killer instinct when we play chess.
You got to save all your killing for one area of your life.
Exactly. Right.
I haven't had meat in 32 years.
Exactly.
I'm hungry. So hungry.
Yeah, Naroditsky, I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
See, I think Naroditsky should surprise his opponent and castle here. That would do it.
Again, in a real tournament that might work, but with
That's
the
right.
with the online interface, those kind of tricks are just off the
Yeah.
table.
Terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to
he's-
say the position's so nonsensical that Naroditsky has good chances. But
Yeah.
once again, I look at the clock.
yeah.
I'm not happy.
And then you say, nope, there go your chances.
Down 2 pawns and down 5 minutes.
Yeah.
At least he has white.
Yeah.
But his team's killing us. It doesn't matter, right?
His team is up 6-2.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just trying to make
Yeah.
things more interesting.
He's doing a good job. Let's see. Yeah,
All right. I can't
sense.
I can't watch him think anymore. Okay.
Okay.
He made a move because I was threatening to check another game.
That's
I was
right.
like, Danya, you move or I'm looking elsewhere for my excitement.
Wow, his opponent moved really quickly.
Bellows is like, yeah, let's just play 1 minute chess here. Why not?
Yeah.
God, he really needs to castle. You're so right about that.
Yeah, this just looks really good for black.
Pawn to h4 is thematic.
Because it loses a pawn? Is that
Because
why?
it loses a pawn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, can you get me a drink? Yeah.
I agree with Flaneur that if they can play Yu Yang Yi and Ni Hua and have a 2100 who can face GMs evenly, it's gonna be hard to beat the Pandas. They'll be this year's Archbishops. Just less religious, right?
No, when you're right, you're right. No.
Huh. Well, if you can't castle, what do you do? A4, A5, A6?
Where's the resign button?
Just sit there for minute after minute after minute.
I'm trying to find interesting questions in the chat, but there aren't any. So, yeah. You're just fascinated by the way we're talking.
Yeah. All right, what's this? Sevion against Sedora. Switch to my surfers scene. All right. Sevion has an extra pawn. The D pawn is backward. Solid advantage. Solid advantage for Sevion. But 20 seconds against 2 minutes.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah.
I am going to learn this. I mean, 3 hours is enough repetitions for me to figure this out eventually.
Yeah, but Sevion is for choice here because the extra pawn.
Okay.
Extra pawn's an extra pawn. There's not a lot of material on the board, so Sevion's probably not going to blunder with his 20 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
As soon as I say that, I'll hang main 1, but...
Yeah. But this is pretty good to have the knight look at e5 and f4 here.
Yeah, very good for Sevion, yeah.
Yeah. But 17 seconds. Who knows? King g4? Shouting at me.
Yeah.
It introduces the theme of king e6, knight c5.
Yeah, it looks good for white.
King f6. Have we seen the kangaroos yet? We saw one kangaroo game so far, I think.
Always repeat. But don't repeat too much.
Yeah, not too much.
Rook d7 check. Confusing his opponent.
It's like, are you going to go somewhere other than f6 now? Nope. Dang. Would have been so sweet. I don't really see how white cracks this.
This is the same position, but now it's black's move. That was funny.
And now he comes back out this way. Yeah. Okay. I really don't see how to crack this one. With 5 seconds on the clock as white, I probably would not come up with any more ideas this game. I would just go back and forth.
Yeah, I'd like to put my knight on f3 so I can attack h4 also, but I can't get to f3.
Me too. I just... To get there, I would have to go through e5, at which point the battle's already won.
Yeah. Hashtag me too. Looks like a draw.
All right.
Yeah.
Well...
Not
every pawn is a win.
Almost lost on time there. Wow.
Yeah.
Like
Somebody's offered a draw now.
Yeah, black offered a draw. White declined.
Yeah.
But he's not better, I don't think.
No, he's not.
No.
Now he's going to get himself sort of pinned up for a second.
Takes g2. Yeah. 1 second left. Wow. He did it again.
Threatening knight e5. King e7 seems pretty good, though.
Yep.
Getting some space back for the king.
Yep. Trying too hard for the win, but it looks like he can still salvage a draw. He keeps almost losing on time. He keeps scaring me. Yeah. Moving with 1 second left. Wow.
It's a risky choice. I don't think black's particularly wanting a draw now. I think he wants to make a few more moves and let white blunder something.
Not easy to do.
But
Yep.
it can be done.
I wonder why White didn't take on e5 when he could.
Rook f4 check.
A rook f4. I knew I was missing something. Okay, that's also a draw, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not losing. It's just slightly tactical.
Nobody can blunder enough here to lose. Unless Sevian loses on time and forgets about his clock.
Mm-hmm. Check, 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 check. It'd be kind of stressful if I were playing, but it's kind of rhythmic and soothing like this, right? Just check, 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 check. Then if they blunder something, then we'll start screaming.
It seems unlikely. I think the players had their fun enough. That's enough fun for them.
They've had enough?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
That was a fair result.
Okay. Now the matchups are starting to get pretty intense as we get into round 3. We've got some number 1s against number 2s and stuff. So, for example, we've got Chess Panda against Melik and Linear Dominguez against Nihua. Getting going here.
Yeah, those are some, Nihua versus Dominguez. That's a heavyweight matchup there.
Yeah.
And we see 1,000 moves of theory in a Berlin. You don't see a lot of Berlins in the Pro Chess League.
Yeah.
Don't see a lot.
But I guess Dominguez is going to do something about that.
By the way, Gorovets won with black against Dreyev last round.
Oh.
So a mini upset.
Yeah.
Especially with the black pieces.
Yeah, so that's good for Dallas. And they're actually... They've only got 1 round left now, Dallas and San Diego. So as soon as their games start popping up, I'm going to try and jump on those since they'll be in round 4.
It's funny. It is what I thought it was. You remember about 4 days ago when Carlsen played the exchange Petrov against Caruana?
I do.
Yeah, that's in the game now between Ostrovsky and Rutong. And Ostrovsky's white. Yeah, he's fighting for the draw. Yeah.
So he's playing their
their
lowest rated player, and he's going for that draw.
He's playing not that it's a draw, but he's playing a very timid line. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he may be showing a lot of respect after what she did against his top boards.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Yeah. It was funny. Before Jeffrey Zhang was Jeffrey Zhang, I think he was like Tom Smith. He played in the U.S. Chess League, and he went 8-0. And then he was like 2,400. He wasn't, like he is now.
Yeah.
And I played him in a tournament at the Spice Cup in St. Louis, and I repeated moves on move 8 with white, and he was happy to draw with black, and I was happy to draw him. And then like a year later, he was like 100 points higher rated than me. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think you get respect pretty quickly. It's easy to get respect when they keep having good results.
Yeah. Hey, Kachin's got a pretty solid end game against Yu Yang Yi. I would say this is a good
Slav theory. Yeah, I used to play this with both sides.
Say it looks like a good opening to get as black against somebody that good. I mean, solid bishop pair, solid queenside pawn structure, bishop pair. Bishop on G2 is not really finding anything good yet. So.
It sounds good in practice or in theory, something.
Yeah, both.
Yeah. No, this is a theoretical line, and if Kachin knows it well, then he can equalize.
Equalize? I like black already.
You like black? I don't like black. Black's pawn structure is suspicious.
I guess if white plays knight d6 check, I'll be less excited about my advantage, which is the bishop pair.
I don't like black, but maybe black's okay.
But if I castle queenside and white plays knight d6 check, then I could move the king, sack knight f7, play bishop b4, keep my bishop pair. Nah, guess not. So...
Very suspicious.
So not much for black, huh?
No, No, I mean, it's a long theoretical line, and they left theory like a couple moves ago, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of draws on this line. Yeah. Let's see. Anybody asking good questions?
Well, somebody's asking to see a game from the Kangaroos versus the Sluggers, so I'm going to click on 2 of their games and see which one I like best. I've got Moulton against Gabriel Sargsyan, and that one looks pretty interesting. Equal material, so that's a candidate, but I'm going to click on the second one as well, Smirnov, the young prodigy you were telling us about. Smirnov against Margvelashvili, 10 minutes against 2. You see that? There were so many pieces on the board, I didn't try and count them. I looked at the clocks
there
first.
You go. Now you're learning. Yeah.
Knight, bishop, knight, 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 bishop. So material's about equal. Smirnov's got a pass pawn on c5. I would say Smirnov has a positional advantage. Would I be wrong?
No, you're correct. Yeah, bishop on c6 is very suspicious.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And the c5 pawn would count as a strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it looks just good for white.
And generally speaking, knights aren't too bad in this kind of a maneuvering position. So, all right.
Smirnov is a Russian-speaking Australian.
Mm-hmm. So his Kangaroos, however, are in a deficit here after 2 rounds, 5.5, 2.5. They're 3 points down. So
wow, that's
they're
huge.
gonna need some good play. To get into this match. They would want to win this 3rd round at least 2.5, 1.5, maybe 3-1, and then they'd have everything to play for in the last round. But you don't want to go into the last round down 3 points.
No, I think Smirnov lost last round, which was shocking.
Okay.
How could he do that to me after I said how good he was?
Yeah, I mean, you said that he could handle the likes of Xiong and Sevion. So
that's right.
Let's see his record. He did lose a game.
Terrible.
Yeah, he won 1 and he lost 1 to Lolcats.
Yeah, but if he wins this game, that'll make up for everything or something.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
Lolcats. Bryce Tiglin.
I'm your 10th favorite GM. Solid.
That's pretty darn good, Ben. That's got to be. That's got to be.
Than I could have asked.
Got to be slightly higher than your world ranking.
Slightly.
Yeah.
So the game that Dreyev lost to what's his name? Gorovets?
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat said that Dreyev was +4 at one point.
That's a lot of plus.
Yeah, the truth hurts. Yeah.
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 But, you know.
Yeah, somebody's talking about how Sevian beat an IM when he was 10. They don't realize that IM was Greg Shahade. So.
And that it was a bullet game at a U.S. chess school.
Yeah, but even so, just now that knowing it's Greg Shahade,
that's enough. End of story.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Oh no, his 2 bishops are gone.
His 2 bishops are gone.
Yeah.
Most importantly, his good bishop is gone. The bad one is left.
Good knight on e4. Now the only thing that matters is the time situation.
That's all.
Yeah, 1 minute and a half is no good.
Okay.
Yeah, not good. So good for Smirnov.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of good for, I think, if I can click on this, yes. I think on this board, things are looking pretty good for the other Australian, Moulton Lee.
Good old this board.
Against Sargsyan, it looks like
that too.
It looks like he recently won a pawn, got the 7th rank, and I don't know, like everything's going his way.
And he played knight f5.
Yeah. That's a painful move. On rook f7, on rook f7, he can trade it and go knight d6. So that doesn't really defend the 7th rank problem.
No, black's just totally dead here. Yeah, knight f5.
Totally dead.
Totally dead. Yeah. He could resign very safely. He'll be safe.
You're so much faster to resign than the average guy.
What's he going to do? Resigning is his only hope.
I don't know. Make some random moves.
And lose your G-pawn? Yeah. All right, he saved his G-pawn.
Saved his G-pawn.
Should have resigned.
Moved it to a weaker square.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. Could play knight h6 check and then rook d6.
Okay. Let's see.
Which threatens knight f7 and threatens rook b6.
Let's see the idea there. Knight f7.
Ooh.
Cutting off protection here.
Ooh,
Planning this thing.
harsh.
That seems like a pretty good idea, Ben.
Yeah. Yeah, I like when I'm winning. Then I suggest good moves. If I'm worse, then
If you're worse, you're like, I'm done with this thing,
Yeah.
you know.
See, if I was I would play knight f7 check, and then knight h6 check, and then play rook d6.
Okay, always
Professional.
repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow the hackers just won. It says they've got 8.01 points.
8.01? Wow.
Oh, and it's gone as fast as it was there.
I see it, though.
Just
8.01.
Just a quick little glitch in the
That's
space
great
math
shot
continuum.
for you. That's right. That's why he was such a great poker player. He had that infinitesimal advantage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he needed to win.
Just needed to grind his point one again and again.
Exactly.
Hackers won
Man,
its final with 1 round to spare.
If I make that joke, I won't get invited back next week. Moving on.
Yeah.
Some jokes you just can't make.
You've made a few already tonight.
Exactly.
I caught 10% of them according to the audience.
That's correct. Yeah, they're being nice. Yeah. I think you get all my jokes. They just don't know you.
They don't know that I sometimes don't pretend that I get things that I get.
Exactly.
But you've seen me in action.
That guy played rook d6. I like that guy.
He did everything you wanted. This could be a comeback for the Kangaroos. So whoever told us to watch the Kangaroos, I'm sure it was just blind pride for your country, but you picked a good time to tell us.
Their score was so bad they were hopping mad. So they had to get back. Yeah. Yeah, the Kangaroos are coming alive.
Yeah. So, rook takes c8 seems pretty solid. It occurs to me.
Well, there's a rook c1 check trick at the end.
That makes it less exciting. How about rook takes f6? Does that work?
That's what I was going to suggest. Yeah. And he plays king g7 at the end. He's tricky.
Yeah, and you just go rook f7 and take it all off, right? That was...
Yeah, that's a winning endgame.
That was the approach.
Ooh, bishop f1. Always play bishop f1.
Looking pretty easy, Ben.
How could I not have seen that?
Dude, this guy's doing everything you wanted him to do. Honestly,
Terrible.
Even the things that you told him to do an hour ago on a different board, he's doing them on this board.
Yeah, if he plays king e6, we can trade bishops and play e4. So the question is, can you play e4? The answer is no. Yeah, you can't do it. But you have to do it, because you can't do anything else. Well, he did something else. Oh, if you take, can I play b5? No, bishop c8.
Bishop c8 and whatever.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Yeah, this he will win.
Yeah. All right. So we can give that point to the Kangaroos. So they're only down 2. Then we can look over here at Smirnov. I like what he did with his rooks. I mean, it may have been a little bit obvious. It was what I would have done.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that game.
Yeah, that game. I mean, his bishop is suffering, but the idea is that if you double rooks on g7 and h7, you can kind of win no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
He also has the c pawn to work with, so.
All right, Ginger GM would be proud.
Some subtle kingside moves, some subtle stuff here.
19 seconds to 5 minutes. That's not good time usage.
No.
Looks good for the Kangaroos.
Yeah.
Somebody said that she's doing it again.
Is she?
Let's see. This just looks like a random position. Yeah, she's not winning yet. Okay. The Chinese board 4.
The Chinese board 4.
Yeah, she's equal, but not winning. So
pieces.
Yeah, less interesting.
Her position looks okay, but yeah, I don't know what's happening yet.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back when something's happening yet. Something a little bit more obvious.
Yeah. So 12 seconds for Mark Velashvili.
Yep.
It's 14. Good night against bad bishop.
Yeah.
But 5 minutes against seconds.
Yeah.
He's setting up for the next game. King F1, King E1.
It's like resign. I'm just setting up.
Okay, so rook takes G7, I assume.
Yeah.
Then I guess double rooks on the 7th? Maybe not. Because then I could take and play rook A8.
That's why the king marched over to cover rook A1.
Yeah.
Trade it. Trade it.
Bishop e3. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, now I take on e6, then king f3.
King
King
f3.
e2. King e2. Good move.
Some attacking options. So now knight g3 check, king to f3. Basically, black's playing for some kind of a, what do you call that? A mating net? Yeah, a mating net.
Yeah, but so many passed pawns for white. Yeah, rook a1 was a good move. That stopped all the mating ideas. Yeah, now c6 should win. Rook c1 also good. Now rook c2.
That would be sneaky.
c6 is good also. Everything's good.
How good is c6? How do you win with that one?
Rook c2. Rook there.
What? What? He just allowed the mating net, right? What?
What do you mean?
Wasn't rook f2 mate in one?
No, king g4.
The g4 is covered by the enemy pawn. Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. That's not as good as we were hoping for.
Yeah. It's still tricky, except that black has 3 seconds left. But it's tricky.
Yeah.
White's king doesn't have a lot of squares.
No. Not at all. What?
B2, wow.
That was weird.
Gives the king the c2 square.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to play bishop b2 check and try to queen his c pawn. I think. Because there's an h pawn and a c pawn.
Or rook takes e6 here, because it threatens bishop e3 and bishop b2.
Yeah, rook f3, bishop b2 resigns.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Pretty much any rook move did that, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he attacked the knight while he did it. Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, yeah, so he was a little calculating machine, kiddo.
Yep. Very nice. So how did Ivan do last round? Because he's playing his 4th game, I think. They just started their last game.
Which game?
Ivan Key or
yeah, the 4th board.
Yeah, is he 3-0 or something?
We'll see.
They just started.
Okay. Searching. So
now, when you say K, were you pronouncing his name?
I don't know. I never know if I'm pronouncing his name or not. Actually,
exactly.
It's kind of the trick. Having trouble finding him for a moment. There he is, 8,700. All right. Against Yannick Cambrath. And I can quickly check his results so far. See, games. He drew his 3rd round game. So he's 2.5 out of 3.
Terrible. All right. I want you to go to Gorovets Sevi and then explain it to me.
All right.
Because I'm too old. I'm way too old.
Sounds good.
I want to see if you're as confused as I am. Yeah, Chess Trails, Konovets.
Chess Trails. All right.
Yeah.
Gorovets, Sevion, king coming up, pawn coming down. Interesting.
What?
Is this the English opening Kasparov gambit with c takes d4 and e5?
It is.
Okay. So that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I need an adult. What's happening?
White has the extra d5 pawn. Black played like e4, e3 because white played the g4 line instead of the e3 line, right?
Mm-hmm. This seems like a real Sevion kind of game.
Yeah.
It's down 2 pawns. The position makes no sense. His rook's hanging. The b pawn's hanging. White's king is exposed.
I kind of like black's position. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah,
on instinct.
15, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
On instinct.
I don't know what the computer says, but...
Well, the thing is, look at this bishop. I mean, this bishop on f1... He's in the way for a while here. He's gonna struggle, and that means white's not going to be coordinated, and they'll have their king in the center. Black's going to be slightly discoordinated, but not have their king in the center. I'm going to go with black. And if you don't have time to play knight a8, black has ways to develop every piece. So, yeah, I think that's it. White could resign here, right, Ben?
He's stealing all my best lines. I think both sides should hit the resign button simultaneously. We'll see how the server works.
I have to learn from you. Next week you can use my lines too.
Exactly.
Like, look at this position. What's going on, Ben? That's what you'll say all day.
There you go. Yeah.
No, this position's exciting other than Gorovets not moving a piece. Everything else is pretty good. If he moves his knight, then the one on c3 specifically, then black could play knight e4, knight f2, trapping a rook himself, if he's just going for a kind of ironic symmetry.
Yeah.
If he doesn't move his knight, black can play pawn takes knight check, and then play knight e4, knight f2. So it's kind of similar.
Let's see. Again, terrible chat. You guys are terrible. Man, somebody's saying that the hackers should be up even more. Because they got penalized a point, but they're still destroying the other team.
And somebody's complaining. They want more points for the hackers.
They want more. We should have more. Well, they should have 8.01 for sure. So
what happened to our .01?
Yeah, exactly. They should complain. Okay, so Gorovets is never moving. That means Sevian's position must be good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Something is -6. I don't know what's -6.
Who knows? I'm not interested in numbers like that.
Something is. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what Yu Yang Yi's doing real quick over here against Kachian. He is up a couple pawns.
And he's up 4 minutes. The only thing that I notice.
Okay. So you were right about that opening. I mean, basically what decided it was he just played this knight d6 move, and then all my love for black's position disappeared without the dark squared bishops.
Is it king e3 the right move?
It's all just a bad pawn structure without that.
Hey, he played king e3. Good job, Yu Yang Yi.
He did it.
You the man. Yeah. Rook d1. I don't know. This looks like a fun position for 2,700.
Yeah.
Yeah, just technical with a lot of extra time. Pretty good board one they got there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good.
And Rutong is up exchange and up 3 minutes. Wow.
That's what our viewers were predicting, huh? That she would strike again here.
Up in exchange and up 3 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah. Against Ostrovsky. Man, that's a tough team. No weakness.
Yeah.
And Zhu Wenjun couldn't beat Pakidze. They drew. Wow.
Okay. But so half a point is fine for them.
But she's having a terrible match, and everybody else is having a great match.
Right.
Yeah, so they can put up with that for one match.
Yeah.
Next match, she's off the team.
They'll sub her out if she doesn't score 4.5 or 5 at least.
That's right, out of 4. That's
out of 4.
Yeah.
That's the standards. That's the standards in China.
They have high standards, yeah. Wow, she's going to win. Chu Rutong. Wow. Up an exchange, up 3 minutes.
Entree got a pawn back.
Man. Yeah, but, you know.
Yeah.
All she does is win, and she hasn't won yet. But
yeah.
Now, wait a minute. What's going on here? Sargsyan.
Yeah.
It's even pawns. It's even pawns.
That's not right. Multun.
It's even pawns? What the heck?
Oh.
What's he doing?
He's still got an extra pawn somehow.
It's his H pawn. He can't win.
No, you're right. Wow. That's really hard to win with that H pawn.
Yeah. He just gave him that pawn, so he didn't have to.
Especially against a GM.
Wow, Multun could win that end game.
No.
That's terrible.
Could not. Should not.
Yeah, with two extra
pawns.
Is 2 extra pawns in Dr. Seuss? I don't know. Dr. Seuss sort of rhymes with your name, so I don't know.
Right.
Close. Yeah. Wow. Can't win with 2 extra pawns. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Bishop e5. Rawr. You could take that, and then you queen. Yep. Wow. Sargsyan didn't lose that endgame. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's disappointing for the Ruse, but the score's not that bad. It looks like they made up a point somewhere on one of the lower boards anyway. Because I'm seeing 6 to 5 in favor of the sluggers right now with that draw, 6.5, 5.5. So the roos will still be in scoring distance for the next
It was
round.
120 moose. The players got their money's worth. That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
quick. Go back to chess trails.
Chess trails.
Yeah, this
All
is
right,
great.
I'm
what
back
happened.
to chess trails.
Yes, he stopped your knight f2 idea,
He stopped knight f2.
and he's walking his king up the board.
I never wanted to play knight f2 anyway. I was just saying it was possible from
Well,
like
it's a rook, so it's probably okay.
county. You don't want to take rooks in positions like this.
Wow,
You just want to develop.
He played king d3,
Yeah.
and then rook a7.
Yeah.
Wow. Rook a7.
Yeah.
Knight takes c, and I agree with that. What am I missing? Everything?
That move is logical. Sure.
Is he going to play rook c7 now?
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what I
betting
was
on
looking
rook
at.
c7. Yeah. But wait a minute. If he plays rook c7, can he play queen e1? Man, queen e1 looks scary. Queen e1 might be scary now.
Already? I would say rook c7 first.
I don't know. Queen e1. I'm starting to like queen e1.
What does queen e1 threaten if white takes the rook on a7? Like queen e1, knight a7.
Oh, wow. Wow. You're going to only play queen d2 and play king c4.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
No, I definitely want to play queen e1.
Really? You don't want to play
Also-
rook c7 first? Oh, he just played it.
No, after rook c7.
Yeah, now queen e1's looking pretty
Yeah.
fun. There's
Also,
not
just
much.
taking on c8 has to win. Yeah, knight c5
Yeah.
check wins.
Knight c5 is looking pretty good.
Man, this isn't good for white.
No, it
Wow.
is. It was
That's
not
funny,
good for white one
Norman-
move ago, and
You beat Drev with black one game. The next game,
yeah,
yeah, tough league. Yeah. No easy baskets.
that's true.
Yeah. Wow. What a crush.
This is pretty sweet. Ostrowski has 13 seconds, by the way, here in this end game.
against
Rotung's
the-
got her.
On board 4, let's
Yeah,
see.
Rotung's got her pawn
There
on
it is.
d4. But he's got 2 pawns, but the seconds are just not enough seconds.
Rook e3.
I assume that that's the plan here. Just break the blockade on that pawn. There it is.
Well, she can take on a3 or play d3. King g7's good.
The A pawn doesn't look very interesting. I think she's going to go knight e2 to f4.
That's what I was thinking.
Random guess. Totally random.
You got knight e2 right.
Yeah.
Knight f4, you got it.
Yes. What do I win? What do I get, Ben?
You get to do commentary with me next week.
No.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I want something actually good.
No, that's it. Sorry.
Ugh.
Rook a2, rook
Rook
a2.
a2. Yeah.
White has nothing.
I didn't really understand why she played rook a3 instead of rook e2. If I'd guessed another move, I would have gotten the next one wrong.
Wow, he moved with 0.4 seconds left. Wow,
Yeah. That's precise. That's precision.
exactly.
You need to have a solid connection, low ping time to be a professional chess league, professional chess thing person player.
Rook e8 looks pretty good. Knight
Mm-hmm.
f4 looks good. Yeah.
I feel like she's taking all the wrong pawns. I don't know.
It
Like
doesn't
the A
matter.
pawn, the H pawn. You don't
This is
care?
No, this is all good.
None of it means anything to you.
Yeah, this is good.
I don't know. If I did this, I'd be blowing it.
Nah, you would have won already.
Well, I wouldn't have taken the A and the H pawns, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I like rook e8 check.
Okay.
Not sure why I like it.
Feeling better with that knight on E6 where it can't move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this pawn looks strong if you don't get mated, but there's no mate threat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point...
Oh, we're threatening perpetual now. Rook h7.
Yeah. At this point, I think rook E6 and rook C1 is the cleanest.
Mm-hmm. That
Option
should
left.
work. I think that works. I don't see why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Might be the only way to win because I'm turning perpetual now.
Yeah. If it's the only, then it's definitely also the cleanest.
Yeah. Yep. C1. Yeah, rook E1 check, D1. Oh, king F2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rook takes E6 wins.
Yep. As does
And easily.
C2 and whatever else.
Yep, that was the easiest. Nice technique. Yeah. Wow.
That seemed kind of messy to me, but she did do it.
Yeah,
so
seemed pretty good to me.
This board 4 has now fought her way to a plus score.
Finally.
A la Ivan Ked. Let's see how Ivan's doing here.
Wow.
Uh-oh, he played F3.
What?
Uh-oh, he's got less time on the clock.
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm not kidding.
Why would you kid me like that?
He's also moving his king back and forth. I don't know.
Wait, what's his handle?
Knight 8700.
Oh, yeah. I'm the one who told you that. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a memory. Come on, pop up my screen. You can do it.
It's all right. Everyone else can see it.
Oh, it is there. Okay.
F3. Yeah. I mean, just looking at this structure, I can't really guess why white would have wanted to play F3 and G3. I mean, F3 to keep a knight out of E4, but each time you move one of these pawns, it gets worse.
That's not good. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the comment of Robo Beer in the Twitch chat.
Let's see. Good thing I can't see it.
All right.
Is it good that I can't see it?
No, I don't know. They're just discussing what openings a stable genius would choose.
Yeah, that's a very suspicious answer.
Yeah. The Grob versus the Bird.
Well, the Bird's better than the Grob.
I'm glad you say so, because I've played the Bird in a number of tournaments, but never the Grob.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what's going on for real here? Seattle's up 1, China's up 1,000, Dallas is up 1, and San Jose's up 1,000.
Yeah. Dallas is up 1, so maybe we should try and find some of their other games because they're in round 4. So they're up 1 in round 4. Let's see, who do they have? They've got Egrok, right? All right, so this is a top matchup here. In fact, this might be a board 1 versus board 1 matchup.
Yeah, Egrok plays for San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sedora plays for Dallas. Let's see. What's this drawn endgame here?
It's
pre-drawn.
It's a double rook endgame.
Yep.
With some pawns just getting traded. C3 check. Interesting. Just trying to liquidate because he wasn't happy with what was happening. On king D3 here. Can white win a pawn?
I can't see why not. I guess I play rook E3 check and then
on king D4, rook E2.
Rook E2, and then I mean you're up a pawn, so
yeah.
But he didn't do that. He took back on D4.
Yeah.
After thinking quite a long time.
Yeah. Definitely. He considered king D3. There was something that meets the eye only after an extra 30 seconds of thought.
Well, it should be a draw. And Sevian did win, and then some.
Yeah, now certainly. Sevian did win, and then some. Yeah, if you could score more than 1 point in a chess game, it would be the Sevian game, right? Like, I'm sorry we missed the final brutality. Let's see if we can recapture some of it. It involved the knight escaping and the queen sacrificing herself for a knight to improve the pawn structure. Do you see this queen D3 move on move 24, Ben? It's like, David said my bishop on F1 was really bad, so instead of trading my queen for a rook, I should really go to D3.
That's right. Safe.
Now you can coordinate the pieces a little bit. 2 minor pieces, couple center pawns. You know the story about Mikhail Tal and the Simul where he sacked his queen for 2 pieces in every game?
No, that sounds good.
He was curious, like, how much better is a queen than 2 pieces? Is a queen really better than 2 pieces? Because you don't see that balance that often, right? Like, it's more points, but Tal was better than just counting points. So he played in this simul, and he sacked his queen for 2 pieces on like every board. I mean, this story might be made up, right? But I mean, you know, if you're a genius like that, you might be able to arrange that. You know, maybe it wasn't every single board, but most boards. So he did that, and he plays the games, and of course he does very well with his 2 minor pieces, board after board. And then afterwards, somebody asks him like, "So, are the 2 minor pieces like as good as a queen?" And apparently he said, "No, but just barely." So this position here actually shouldn't have been completely impossible for white if their rooks were developed or any of their pieces other than the one knight that's been journeying. So trade, exchange, sack, queen e5.
No, I'll take a queen.
And conclusive in the end. All right, so that was a key point for the surfers. Match is tied 7.5, 7.5. We got to find that.
Wow.
That last game, huh? Oh, we did. Is it going to be tied 8-8?
Looks like it.
It's all down to the rook end game. Okay, if anyone won this game, who would it be? White.
Well, Dreyev has 30 seconds more, so black.
So black.
Well, he has more time.
I guessed wrong.
No, you're probably right. White's better.
I was thinking the white pieces were slightly more active. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, my rook's better than your rook, but
okay.
There's very little on the board, and there's very little time left, so there might not be a draw.
Okay. So I feel like king f5 would be really good, so black's going to play king e6.
Then I play g4, which I guess I can ignore. So, yeah, he played b5. Wants to get those pawns going.
Right. So now maybe king d5, keeping the eye on both sides.
Yeah, I guarantee king d5.
Because like king f5, a5, rook f6, king f6, b4. We're probably not going to make it. Yeah, we could have made it. So that was an option. Ooh, nailing down the f-pawn. I'm kind of liking white's position.
No, white's king is better than black's king. It's true. This is good for white.
Now king c5 is logical. I guess he played f5 first last turn to keep black from having king e6, but this is getting kind of critical.
Rook e7 I like. You have the f-pawn go to e2? Yeah.
Got to do that at some point, right? Yeah. So I think white won't take the f-pawn. He'll play king b5. Leave his rook covering the h-pawn, and with the idea of rook takes h7 at some point, and just go clean up the queenside pawns.
Well, I could play rook e5 check and take on f5.
Oh, yeah, that would...
Then when I play rook f2, you lose your a-pawn. So you should.
That would be annoying. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, when I said black might win, now white has 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
That's not good. Okay, he took. Yeah. Rook e2.
Rook e2.
Yep. Rook f7 check, I'm assuming. Rook d6 check.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would have forced the black king to the back row.
Yeah. If I was playing chess with 10 seconds on the clock and it was my opponent's pieces, and it was just somebody else's pieces that I was playing with, I would also just play rook f7 immediately and hope it worked out.
Rook c6, that's weird. It's like playing for a draw. He has no time on his clock.
Yeah, could be. If the king crosses to the e file, he can just trade off the rooks and play king b5.
Well, black might play for a win, king e7. No.
But then rook e6, right?
Oh, you can get away with that? It looks like it's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
And draw agreed.
Hence he's got his draw 8-8.
Yeah.
So what do they do now, Commissioner? Play another match? You can't just let them get off with a draw.
A lot of people think that too. That's funny. Maybe you think that also. Yeah, a draw was a fair result.
Fair enough.
So China wins, San Jose wins, Dallas, San Diego's a tie, and Seattle, Australia is a real slugger kangaroo fest.
All right, so let's check it out.
We got Dominguez, Yu Yang Yi is a boring Petrov. Well, Sargsyan's game isn't boring. Wow. With Smirnov.
There we go. Smirnov. All right. What the?
Why is White
it's just a queen trade. I was like, this queen's attacked by so many pieces.
Yeah. Okay. So he took with the knight.
Okay.
Materials equal.
Yeah. Everything's pretty equal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Except the weird pawn structure. All right. Well, bishop on h2 is special. He's going to need some investment if you want to make a useful guy out of him. He's going to have to work on that. I would like to play g6 and f5 for black. Doesn't look like it's in the cards anymore. All right, the hackers didn't get their .01, but they are up to 9 points now, 9-3. They do officially win.
Wow. That's shocking to me. I thought that match would be really close. And San Jose gave the point away, and it still wasn't close.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen Rio lose a match like that. They played, 10 or 11 of them 7 or 8 of them last year. Didn't lose anything like that.
Yeah.
It's
shocking.
Oh man, Dominguez and Yu Yang Yi might bring all the boring openings back. Do you see what they did this time?
Yeah, I saw what they did. Yeah.
The D takes C3 Petrov.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bring a little class to this outfit. Okay. So Smirnov goes A6, looking at B5 now. Well, b5 would be annoying, but rook to b1, you have to plan on rook takes d5 as well. I heard the telltale sound of somebody offering a draw somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, where was it?
Who would do something?
My guess would be this Petrov, but I was wrong. Not there. Ivan, no, it's not him. Izoria and Belos. Belos declined to draw. His team's already lost.
5 minutes extra. Yeah.
His team's already lost, but he figures he's got to find position in extra time. Got to at least let them know that you could beat them next time around. So, I approve. All right, so we've got Anton Smirnov against Akiba. I'm gonna try and find a couple more kangaroos, okay? Just to get them all up there.
Yeah, that's the only match that's not decided. Kangaroos and the Sluggers.
So we're going to need Mark Velashvili against Moulton. That's going to be other GM matchup. And I'm going to check out another talented junior who we haven't seen yet today. And that is Roland Feng, a.k.a. Dragon 1249. He made that handle a couple years ago and improved quite a bit since then.
So that's all you have to do is change your handle? Interesting.
Well, I mean, I think he put in a little bit of work too. Wait, this position looks familiar. It looks like a knight c3 French.
And black's up a pawn, and white has initiative.
Let me see.
Black's up a pawn.
What's happened? Have I ever seen all this thing before? Oh no, I haven't seen this exact position before. Some trading, some stuff. Huh. Okay. So who's happy here? I always play black, so I'm biased.
Yeah, I'd be happy if I was black up a pawn.
All right, you take the pawn too.
Yeah.
I mean, one option is to play queen takes h2 if you really like the pawns.
It's not even your turn you're playing it. Oh, it is your turn.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I just assumed it was white's turn.
But it might be more respectable to play something like, bishop to d7 first or something, developing.
Sacrificing your b pawn.
Sacrificing all our pawns, I know. Doesn't seem good to give up the pawns, but b5 doesn't seem good either.
But a pawn is a pawn.
Yeah. So, how should us non-GMs make use of an extra pawn if we get something like this? Should we ever be so lucky as to have an extra pawn? Everybody's got an extra pawn.
Non-GM should never have an extra pawn. That's not fair.
They play each other, and at some point.
Oh, okay, that's okay then. As long as you're not playing me.
No, not against you.
Okay, that would be. That's fine.
You can give up some secrets here. Assume that we're not playing you.
Yeah, I like everything Black has. So every move he makes his position worse.
Mm-hmm.
I could also take on G2, which seems sort of risky. You know, queen check on G5 and queen G2.
Right.
He did play bishop D7.
All right.
As you suggested.
I mean, I just noticed it was legal. I didn't really necessarily like the move. I mean,
it seems reasonable to get your rook and bishop out. They're trapped in the corner.
Right, but we give 2 pawns for it. You said that you liked having an extra pawn.
Yeah, but we're going to get the kingside pawn, so that's okay.
Uh-huh. So queen b7, rook b8, queen a6, queen h2.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not
just
sure if I'll play queen h2 or play queen g5 and queen g2. Probably queen h2.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable for Black.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's the answer.
And that's what's going to happen. Yep. And it's all happening. Yeah, probably queen a6, queen h2 is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it did.
All happening.
Mm-hmm. And this is the sluggers and the kangaroos?
Yeah. Yep. Roland here with Black is playing for the sluggers.
Mm-hmm.
And Timur Kuybokharov.
Doesn't sound like a kangaroo.
Doesn't sound exactly like a kangaroo.
No.
His flag here says Uzbekistan.
Ah, he's a ringer.
Mm-hmm. They've recruited him, perhaps.
And white played a4. Seems reasonable to me. Everybody gives all their pawns away.
So this position has become a little bit irrational. Kind of hard to figure it out.
Yeah, I like queen c7 because white's queen is almost trapped there.
Okay. So now material's equal.
Mm-hmm.
Things are feeling kind of weird. A5 could be played. Bishop c6 is maybe an idea coming from Black. White could also come to the b5 square. I don't know. I can't even tell who's got the advantage.
I mean, I was thinking bishop c8 because your queen's trapped.
Bishop c8 coming next. Okay.
Always retreat.
Bishop c8. He could always play knight to b5, right? And the game goes on. Even if he didn't do anything productive in between.
In that particular position, like this one, after knight b5, I take your queen, I take your bishop on d3, then I play rook c8.
Oh my goodness.
I hate when that happens.
Horrific.
Yeah. So he played knight b5 first.
So
queen
c5
c5
right away.
Pre-move queen c5. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So just to know what our options are, on queen a7, rook takes b5, queen a8 would probably win for white. So that means that queen a7 is a candidate move.
Can I take on a7 then take on a4?
Yes, you could. Let's try something simpler like that.
Yeah.
That looks very good for Black. All right, so no queen a7.
Yeah, I like Black here. Black's pieces are all really good.
Mm-hmm. Similar story if white played something like queen d6, right? You'll just grab that a-pawn.
Then I could play rook takes
Then
b5.
you could play rook takes b5. Yeah. There's no checks. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So white's queen is still kind of just...
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I keep coming up with all these tactical blunders, for those wondering, is because I'm feeling like the queen's in the wrong place, not just because I suck. I mean, it's not the only reason. So.
It's easy to lose your queen when it's trapped.
When it's trapped.
All right, queen a5, he's getting out of there. That seems like a good idea.
So Wants to just re-centralize to C3, B2, D2, something like that.
Yeah, very reasonable.
Yeah. I'm clicking back to Smirnov for a second. Some developments.
Balus did win against Azoria.
Some developments here.
So he got some revenge.
All right, the time.
Their team lost, but yeah.
The time thing, like you expected. Bishop pair against a knight. That's a good advantage. Okay, so Smirnov against Akiba. So black finally got the pawn to F5, which seems pleasant for him. Try and prolong the bishop G1 scenario as long as possible. Rook B1, Rook B7.
It's hard not to play Rook C to B2.
Yeah.
I guess you can play Rook E B8 and try to play B5. Hard to stop. I guess you play Bishop F2.
So now B5 is already playable, right?
Yeah, I'd play B5, yeah.
The instinctive feeling would be that black is a little bit better.
I like black, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, David Sanders wants to go bishop F2 to E1 to C3. And I think the worst thing about white's position is that bishop, so that makes sense.
Yeah, this match can go either way. Australia and Seattle.
Yeah. We've got a 10-second against 10 seconds battle here. The battle of the fourth boards. Ivan.
Oh, board 4, yeah.
So let's see who's better with the last couple ticks of their clock.
Looks like black's winning.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, now what do you do? Not easy.
No.
Julian Zugzwang here.
Clever.
No.
But not clever enough. Guess there's really nothing that can save this position. Oh.
Ooh, that was a nice move. Yeah.
Just a little.
That doesn't even matter then.
Just a little evil. Yeah.
Yeah, he was winning anyway. Yeah. Wow. So
okay.
Ivan beats everybody except the board 4.
So there is a board 4 here who can compete. Kamrath.
The other boards can't, but board 4 can.
Yannick Kamrath, and he lost his previous games until he got to the showdown that really mattered here.
Exactly. Wow. Very nice.
Okay. But all it takes is to beat the other team's board 4, and then your scores are pretty comparable. Great. All right, back to our match. Georgi Margvelashvili, white against Multun Lee.
And by the way, Naroditsky just resigned, so I don't know about your Naroditsky love.
Yeah.
Although his team won easily, so he didn't care anymore. That must be what it was.
That is the best excuse.
There you go. Yeah.
Margvelashvili has a lot of extra pawns. It's feeling like Multun lost them rather than sacked them.
1, 2, 3. I can't count that high.
Yeah.
I need an accountant.
Yeah. Queen E3 looks pretty solid.
Yep.
Not so much compensation. Next thing you want to do is put your bishop on F1, I'm sure. But failing that, maybe D5. Just control some diagonals.
Rook F4, no queen trade.
Rook F4, no queen trade. Is Rook D4 an option here?
I mean, every move wins. I'm up 3 pawns.
So anything I toss out, you'd have to tell me.
Everything's good. Yeah.
Rook D8 check. Playable too, I guess, according to that theory.
Yay, he threatened mate.
Yep.
He's the best.
Nicely done. Now G4. G4.
Nice. I think it's a terrible move, but nice. Because I play Rook takes D4 and I'm winning.
Queen d4 check.
Oh, it's check.
I know.
I
And
wanted
then
to play Queen C1 double check.
I know, but
Darn.
it's the wrong kind of double check. It's the
So
illegal
bishop
kind.
D5, bishop D5, rook D5. That's the idea.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. And once again, Queen D4 is check, which is also very important.
Always.
He plays rook D4. Yeah.
Plays rook d4. You're gonna need it.
Even with 20 seconds, he sees when it's check.
Yeah.
This is tough when you're down 3 pawns and all your pieces are hanging.
It gets harder and harder not to trade them. Basically, it's trade or sacrifice.
Yeah, this is hopeless. Yeah, bishop D5 was nice.
Mark Vilashvili scores a key win for the Sluggers.
Nice. Wow.
That I think gets them to 8 points where they can't lose the match anymore.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it 8-6?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it leaves 2 games. So here, Sargsyan got his long blockaded pawn rolling. Pawn to d6. And might also cost black the c5 pawn, which
it has got more time.
Could be the end of this match. I mean, rook c5, then rook f5 check, and king takes e4.
No, we thought
no
this
coming
was,
back
this
from
was
that.
good for black, and yeah, d6 is just winning.
So what happened here? He played b5 at the wrong moment, huh?
Wow.
What happened? He brought his rook to e4 instead of playing b5 like he wanted. It's not clear why the rook...
Yeah, rook's not good on e4.
Yeah, no, I was going to say not clear why it should be good on e4, and yeah, not good.
But he has a lot of passed pawns. It's his only hope.
Oh, so he sacks the piece rather than allowing rook c5, f5. That is a better hope. Because honestly, white doesn't really yet have much of a claim to having an extra piece. Not quite yet.
Well, I would play bishop h4 here with the idea of rook f6 check.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
Let's see if Gabriel agrees.
That makes use of 2 pieces of garbage at once.
Yeah.
That seems really powerful. My goodness.
Goodness had nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Oh, Tamor and Dragon have drawn. Interesting. Our interesting French defense ended in a quick draw when the queens fought for control of the dark squares. You see? Very, very correct. Very positional. Grandmasterly, even. For a pair of board forwards, certainly. Let's try and find the last game in this match then. Struggling to find it. Well, we'll watch this game here while we wait for me to find it.
I wonder if Melik's going to beat Nihua. Wow.
Bishop h4 played as you wanted.
Here's a chance.
Melik having a chance here.
To beat Nihua. The match is over, but beating Nihua is nice.
Sure. Extra pawn, bishop against knight here.
Well, Sargsyan really thought a
All
long
he
time
needs
about
is his
bishop
king.
h4. Wow.
Yeah, but he did what you wanted, and seems like a good choice. So then all we'll be missing is this one board that I can't find. My apologies. My sincere apologies. So here you go rook f6, right? That's the whole idea.
That was my idea. It must be wrong because it was my idea. Carilla in the commentary said the pandas look dangerous. Yeah.
I saw that comment a while ago and thought,
they do look dangerous.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. I found the last game. Somehow it popped up for me. And in the last game,
but not least,
of Lolcats, it's looking like 10 seconds for Australia, a minute for Seattle. So, not good news. But we'll stick with this because this is tactically thrilling. Will he, won't he, queen a pawn,
what does this
or
mean
something?
when black wins this game?
That would be the end.
This is the end.
That would be the end of the Kangaroos' first first match. I guess the season's young. All right, but I'm watching a rook roller by Sargsyan. He's going for.
He's getting rook rolled. Yeah.
He's going for a rook roller.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, he's allowing a queen.
Mm-hmm. He is. Rook G1. Where's the queen?
Smirnov says no.
Oh, okay.
Bishop D8. Rook takes D8. Maybe. Rook takes D8. Maybe. No. Some other random move. What's happening? Who's winning? King takes there. Oh my goodness.
What's that?
Well, Smirnov just came back from like minus 10 or 15 as our audience will tell us at some point. They'll tell us the number, but he's now winning with an extra rook after having been down.
Wow.
Some
Yusi has no time. Wow.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And he lost. He's done.
Wow. He resigned and lost on time at the same time.
That thing was so crazy, Ben. I feel like we should just like do a quick replay on it. So I'm going to move 48.
I have to sneeze at that. Wow.
Move 48, where Sargsyan decides to win a rook.
Why can't I play rook G1 on move 52?
Queen. On move 52, you want to go rook G1?
Yeah. What's the problem? What?
What's the problem?
Rook G1.
At this point, he's up a rook and a bishop, right?
After rook G1, I stop both your pawns.
Stop both pawns. On rook C8, you play rook C1, maybe.
I'll play rook takes B3. I got like 500 extra pieces.
You've got everything, so you can give everything.
How do you not play rook G1?
I don't know.
What?
That's a very boring way to win. You're correct.
Yeah, that's is boring. Yeah.
All right, that would have done it. That would have done it pretty cleanly. Rook to G1.
Oh, that's crazy.
Also doing it would have been rook to B6 instead of rook G7, probably because then on rook C8, rook check, king C5, covering C6.
Wow,
you could play bishop E7.
That's unbelievable.
Or bishop F6.
And Seattle still wins 9-7, so it didn't matter. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, there were 100 different ways to win. My goodness.
Wow.
Okay, but they get away with that one. So now, yeah, because Seattle won this other one with the bishop pair.
Wow.
Kind of as expected here with extra time on the clock as well. So let's see how Melik's doing this endgame. Looks like he just got blockaded, kind of. Black's got all the king squares covered.
So if China loses 4-0, it's a tie match?
Yeah.
And all 4 games are still going.
They are.
Although I don't see how Chu Riotong could lose. She'd have to really try hard.
Oh, yeah?
She could do it, but she have to try really hard. She's probably winning.
All right, let's see. She's got rook and 3 against rook and 3.
I think she's winning. Yeah. Oh, she could play rook H8. That's mean.
Yeah. Wow. I think she will too, right? That's the plan here?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of grim.
It's a tough board 3 out of 4.
It's kind of grim for the Rats.
3 out of 4 undefeated.
Yeah.
H4, put it in H.
Or rook F7 here.
Yeah, rook F7.
Rook H7.
Yeah, rook H7.
Yeah.
It's not dead winning yet because Black has some tricks.
Mm-hmm.
But White's not going to lose. And Zhu Wenjun's not going to lose because she's up a pawn in an end game.
Okay. So they might not lose any of these, is what you're saying.
That's also possible. Yeah. Yeah, Dominguez, whose position I like a lot, has no time. He's down 4 minutes to a minute and a half.
Yeah, but he's got something interesting going, right? With his bishop pair, he's actually putting some pressure.
I like his position, yeah. Okay, so Wutong played rook takes f7, e5 is forced. I assume king takes g6 and then e4.
Oh, sorry. I'll click over to what you're telling me.
That shouldn't be enough. Rook f5, rook e5 should win.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it should be a win. That's a pretty good board 4 they have, and a pretty good board 3, and a pretty good board 2, and a pretty good board 1.
Yeah, fairly good looking team.
I mean, it won't be a total disaster for Zhu Wenjun if she wins this endgame. If she draws, it'll be a pretty bad match for her.
So she should be motivated to convert this. It
looks like a draw. Maybe she can win. G4.
Yeah, she's got to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta.
Oh, maybe it's a win.
Yeah.
Oh, she's definitely going to win. I forgot. I was just like you. I didn't look at the clock.
I wasn't looking either, Ben. Maybe it's going to take me a while to learn it because
5 minutes to 10 seconds. I think White's going to win.
Yeah.
No.
Also, they're winning, right? I mean,
No,
you just move the A pawn up the board, and
it doesn't matter if it's winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So China's going to win pretty handily. They'll probably get at least 10 points. So San Jose wins 9-6 because they had to give a point away.
Right.
Seattle wins 9-7. A very interesting match with Dallas San Diego was a close match, 8-8, and that could have gone either way.
Yep.
Man, whenever it's 8-8, you always feel like you did something wrong because there's always all 8 players on the team knows there was one game where things could have been different. So they all feel like it's their fault.
I'm sure it is. I mean, unless there's one player who went 4-0, but then everyone else can feel pretty bad that the three of them together couldn't convert that.
Well, that's how we won the championship last year, or this year. Actually, it was last year. Because Carlson went 4 out of 4, but the rest of his team, very suspicious.
Yeah. Well, look, Melik broke the blockade.
Mm-hmm.
Ostrowski's got 2 seconds, 1 second. Yeah, well, doesn't really matter what time he has left here, does it?
Yep. No, he's losing, yeah.
Okay, so we got Dominguez. Some kind of tactic just getting played. Does he have checkmate with bishop g3 or something? Do you see this move here, bishop f7?
Yeah, interesting. Wow.
I think the only follow-up I see is bishop g3 after black takes it.
Yep.
Is that fair to say? We can narrow down the candidate moves here. Bishop g3 hits the queen. Queen to e3, for example. Queen c7. And then if king a7, bishop f2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't play queen e3 because of bishop f2.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we got to go somewhere else. The first thought was maybe the queen can cover some of these dark squares, but no. So hasn't moved yet. This is pretty sneaky. Bishop g3. Go somewhere horrible with the queen.
Wow.
See, if the queen goes somewhere where she doesn't attack anything, then white can even play, queen takes f7 and have a good game.
Right. That's right. Now, that was very nice, bishop f7. Wow.
But presumably, he's got some kind of mate in mind.
Wow, 22 seconds, but he might be winning. I'm trying to figure out if Melik's better anymore.
Okay.
I can't. Okay, he just won the pawn, so he's obviously better.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that he had blundered his pawn. Well, Melik should win this.
It does look winning.
Zhu Wenjun did win, winning the match. She won the rook ending.
She won this rook ending. That was definitely how it was going to go. Melik looks like he's winning this game. I mean, he's got this black king boxed up. He can run to h6 with his king.
I don't think Chu Ritong is winning anymore. I don't think she's winning anymore.
That is...
It's Nazi.
Super messy. I mean, she's got to put her rook on the e file.
Well, she was on the e file. Then she didn't know what to do in this position.
Then her king is frozen.
Yeah. This was messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, in this kind of position, you play rook to e8. Just real quick, and then see what happens.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm not sure what black can do here. Wow, that was a nice move. Okay, king e5. Rook check.
I don't see the point yet of this extreme thing. Well, I'll say this. Rotung is pretty good at getting draws. I mean,
Yeah.
she was like
Well, she
not
won the
in.
last game.
She was like not in danger like any game, right?
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
she won the last-
she doesn't necessarily convert everything, but she's never losing.
And now it's a draw. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never losing.
Wow. She could win the end game. That's good defense from Nazi. Yeah.
Okay. Yu Yang Yi sacked his queen, so let's see how that happened. Bishop f7.
I think as he thought he had to.
Take. Oh, on bishop f7, he just plays queen d2 straight away.
Let me see. Let me go back here. Bishop f7, queen d2. Yeah, queen d2. Okay.
I guess.
Because he has more than.
He doesn't want to wait for white to be able to play, you know, bishop takes c7 check and get a pawn. He needs all the dark square defenders he can get.
This just seems like even black's better here with this ending. Because c2 could be weak. And he has no time.
Because the white bishop can't really target anything.
This isn't dangerous at all for black. Yeah.
Nicely done by you.
Yeah, black's playing for a win. If he can get his rook to the 7, which he can't.
Which he can't.
Try.
There are some limits to what you can do.
He's trying, though.
Yeah, he is trying. 5 seconds for white, too.
Yeah.
Man. See, Yu Yang Yi, like, nothing pleases him, right? He's never satisfied. He's never like, oh, this is good enough. I don't need to do anything more.
And try to play, yeah. You can't do it. Wow, that's a fascinating draw if it's a draw. And black's playing for a win. Wow.
Yeah. Found his way to c2. He could... No, he can't take on c2 because his rook can't move.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the kind of thing I do, move into check.
Yeah.
Yeah, white has so little time, it's easy to blunder. 3 seconds, wow.
Yeah. Offer to draw, decline to draw. 4 seconds, 2 seconds. He made it to c2.
He got his rook. He got it there. Oh. He didn't stop rook h2. Wow. Well, black should be winning now. He should win this. Bishop d1. Or rook e6. Just play simple. Bishop f5, then do it again. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this should be winning for black. b3 is weak.
Coming for b3 via d3.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, he's going to win this. Right, d5. I went back to c6. Always repeat.
He always does it. He's very, very chill.
He's not in a hurry. Yeah.
No. This is rough. It's scary seeing you play this well.
Rook b1 check. Rook b1 check for sure. I've been logged off because I've been idle for an hour. What?
Oh, wow.
I'm innocent.
You're not playing some blitz games while you watch?
But I was innocent.
Okay.
It happened before, too. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
All right, they're on move 90.
Yeah. He's taking his time, though, so you didn't miss too much.
Wow. Yeah, b3 is weak. Rook e3. You play because he's afraid of the g6 pawn. Yeah, he's very patient.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not moving his king off the long diagonal at some point so he can reposition his knight. He's going to accidentally get a threefold repetition, or does he know every single one of these positions that has happened so far? I mean, he took his time and he got c2. He can take his time and get this eventually. There we go. I've been waiting for that king. No!
It's not easy. Good defense.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go to c2, could have been repetition. Move 103. And he finally caught up on time. Well, they both have no time. So even though the match is over and these guys are 2,700 feet here, they're still trying.
Yeah.
You got to play for your team.
He's not even playing for his team. He's just
B3 is so
playing
weak.
for himself.
He won on time. He won on time. Yeah, B3 was weak. Yeah, the game's over. Wow.
Yeah, look, he's preventing the bishop from coming back to c3.
Yep, and
He's
bishop
threatening
C2 's
bishop
an
c2, and if the queen moves somewhere, knight b4 can finally get played. If you ever get knight b4, that's got to be like the nail in the coffin of this position.
9.5 to 5.5. Oh, that's 9.5, 10.5, 5.5. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking when I was looking at the team stats, like that Chinese team seems pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were pretty good.
Now that you've seen their board 4 play, which was the only question mark.
I didn't see their board 4, but I did today. But even before that, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Wow, what a team.
Yeah. Well, that's what the league needed, a team from China.
Yeah.
Are there any Chinese people watching right now, celebrating?
Yeah, they're dancing in the streets.
Waving the flag?
Wow. That's too bad you play a crushing move like bishop f7, then you lose. Man, this truth hurts.
That
was a brilliant move that he played to win material.
Yeah, to play bishop f7 and lose. That's, I think Yu Yang wants to give you that feeling of like hopelessness, right? Like there's no way you can compete with him. There's a couple people identifying as Chinese. All right. So you guys happy with your team?
Mm-hmm. I'm also Chinese, by the way.
Feeling it today. Ni hao.
Yeah. Wow, what a crushing victory.
Yeah.
Well, that was a long day of chess. I watched most of it, even the ones we weren't doing.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was sweet. I'm ready for next week.
Did Yu Yang get 4 points, or did he have a draw in there somewhere?
Let's find out. He played well enough that he
I
deserves
like he
for his
got
score
4,
to be known. 1 1 1 1 1.
Wait, hold on. Why you said 5 ones? That's pretty good.
Yeah, he did it.
He did even better than I thought.
He did it. He did the 5 points.
Yeah, awesome.
Perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, he scored a ton of points in the qualifier too. I think my sense so far is that he's taking things pretty darn seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a brilliant queen sacrifice to get I think a better ending. That ending is better for black.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see if the domination continues next week for the Chengdu Pandas. But good start. Good start. They're not even from Beijing, A lot of the best Chinese players are in Beijing, so pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, it was great doing commentary with you. I liked watching you and Irmo, but good time of day to you. I'll try to do the best Irmo I can.
Good time of day to you,
now
chess
I can have my
friends.
tea because of the great chess.
Mm-hmm. All right. What does Chengdu mean? It's the name of the city.
That's what it means.
And I don't know what it means beyond that.
It means we crushed your team.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Wow.
It could mean many things without seeing.
I can see why they didn't put Josh Friedel on their team now.
They didn't even need him, you think?
They had a good board 4 without him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, we'll see you next week for the next installment of the Pro Chess League. Check out the new shiny Pro Chess League website, prochessleague.com, to see pairings as they come up. Pairings will be posted 2 days before the match, so you can check out what's coming up. Then see if Naka comes into the lineups or not, and other previews. And yeah, that's it for us. Bye.
See you, everybody.